Welcome back. Tough tariff talks are not going away.
No,
That
certainly
was my
not.
takeaway.
Prime Minister Mark Carney in Canada, as well as President Trump, there are trading jabs here over this trade dispute. President Trump wrote this on Truth Social. This is over. Obviously, they weren't able to get a deal done. And one of the stipulations, according to the Prime Minister of Canada, is that goods coming in from Canada to the U.S. could not have any French labels or any French writing on them whatsoever. That was apparently a hang-up for Canada. So Trump puts this out today on Truth Social. I would never...
Gordon Robertson and Terry Mewson bring you the 700 Club. Watch weekday mornings at 11 on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove. Encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where everything that happens here ends up being headlines in about 3 minutes. Yes. Around the world.
That's right. So be careful.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As Rush Limbaugh would say, this is where everybody gets their show prep. Remember him saying that?
Yeah, you know what? He was pretty accurate.
He was.
Yeah.
They would listen to his show and get there.
Oh.
And you know what's so interesting about Brother Rush? I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to replace him.
That's right.
No network, no group of talk show people. They have tried every combination to pick up that audience, and it completely went away when he died.
Yeah, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
And you're right. Every combination.
Every combination.
Yep.
Nothing has really worked anyway. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. This is going to be a hot one, and then it starts to back down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which we welcome as we head towards September. It's hard to believe September.
I just keep looking out to the horizon for the next storm clouds. Mm-hmm. You know, the storm that brings us the rain without the possibility of lightning and thunder and stuff.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I don't know. I'm trying to do my homework on El Nino.
Okay.
And I have now come to the conclusion that there's a division in climatology. I can't find two opinions that agree.
It's like there's Republicans and Democrats.
Oh, gosh. It's like Republicans against Republicans, Democrats against Democrats.
Oh, that's great.
Then you got Republicans against Democrats. Then you throw an independent in the middle.
Right.
And I guess we have a third candidate running for governor in the state of Oregon. A Green Party did qualify to get on the ballot.
Green Party.
Yes.
Oh, really?
And that has to be Governor Kotek's nightmare.
I was going to say,
That's got to be her nightmare because they're very loyal, radical people.
Right.
You know.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
So if they pull 3, 4, 2, 1% away, that's not a good thing in a tight race. So anyway, so goes the world. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Let's see here. What's going on today?
Well, first of all, it is National Kiss and Makeup Day. Pause. Reminding us to end quarrels, arguments, and fights. Instead, come to an agreement with anyone you've had a disagreement with on National Kiss and Makeup Day. And I'm glad I don't especially...
You're thinking as fast as I am.
I'm so glad. You know, it's that thing about not going to bed, you know, going to sleep at night with...
with wrath, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. You know, there used to be a day where I'd be ready to go to sleep, you know, and I'd be falling asleep, and Pam would say, honey, I would like to talk to you about something unemotionally. And I would think, oh, no. Yeah. I'm not going to bed for the next 2 hours.
Unemotionally.
Yeah, unemotionally.
Coming from a wife.
Yes, yes.
Well, first thing you do is send her to confession.
honey, I didn't mean anything bad.
That's all right.
Kiss and makeup.
Unemotion. That's a new one.
Isn't that good?
Oh, gosh, right there. There's a book.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's also...
Put that on a T-shirt and take it to a basketball game.
That's really great. I like it.
Okay, there you go.
It is also National Park Service Founders Day.
All right.
And on this day in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed what is now called the Organic Act to establish the National Park Service as part of the Department of the Interior, and it protects 400 areas in 50 states, U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia. Check this out. Totaling 84 million acres. The
Wow.
Park Service has 84 million acres.
Yeah, most of those are in Oregon, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I know that I know the government owns, what, 60% of our land in the state? Something like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I saw this really cool thing. There are some folks, with RVs that they do these circuits where they go to all the national parks.
Yeah.
And you can drive all around the United States. You can go to these national parks and they post their little activities there and stuff. It really looks like a blast if you have time.
And the money for the gas.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then top it all off, only one thing to eat, but it's good. It's National Banana Split Day. Yes, originally served in drugstores, soda fountains, and ice cream parlors. The banana split is traditionally served in a long dish called a boat. And to make a banana split, cut the banana lengthwise and place it in the dish. Then add scoops of vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry ice cream between the slices of banana. Each scoop gets a topping. Add crushed pineapple to the strawberry, drizzle chocolate syrup over the vanilla, and add strawberry topping to the chocolate. Next, sprinkle with crushed nuts. Finally, garnish with whipped cream and maraschino cherries. And there you look at it. I mean, that is the classic banana split.
Now, remember Monkey Ward's? Remember we were talking about
yes,
that?
I love that name.
And they had the little cafe counter?
Yes.
That's where you got a banana
split, right.
Yeah.
Now, can you make like a banana split without the different flavor of ice cream? Can you use just vanilla ice cream and make it
banana. As long as it has a banana, it's a
right,
banana split.
it's a split, right.
Yeah, look, that is... you remember Farrell's ice cream?
Yes.
They would bring you a banana split, and you couldn't eat it.
Yes.
It was gallons of ice cream.
Gallons of ice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's good for you, though.
Well, there you go. Good stuff all the way around. All right, let's check out the weather because it is interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville become sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s. McMinnville turns mostly sunny with a daytime high of 85 this afternoon. Becoming sunny through the Willamette Valley in Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with highs in the mid-80s. Overnight lows range from the lower to mid-50s across the valley tonight. In central Oregon, patchy smoke gives way to mostly sunny skies and 95 in Prineville, 91 in Bend, and a high of 89 in Sun River. Over in Boise, hot with increasing clouds and a high in the upper 90s. Along the coast, Coos Bay sees gradual clearing with a high near 69 and partly sunny and 58 in Port Orford. Decreasing clouds give way to sunshine and 54 in Brookings, while in Crescent City, mostly cloudy near 60. In southern Oregon, Grass Pass becomes sunny with a high near 95, while Medford stays sunny and hot in the upper 90s. We'll see sunny in Ashland near 93 and upper 80s in Klamath Falls. In Northern California, 94 in Wairika with skies becoming sunny. Redding and Chico stay mostly sunny in the mid-90s, while Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds and a much cooler high near 60. Mostly sunny in the Bay Area with Santa Rosa and Napa seeing early fog before warming to 81. San Francisco sees decreasing clouds near 69, and San Jose stays partly sunny with a daytime high near 83. For Central California, Sacramento sees decreasing clouds with a high near 94, while Stockton, Modesto becomes sunny near 95. Fresno, Visalia reach 103 under sunny and hot conditions, with Bakersfield close behind at 102. And that's a look at your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Okay, well, there's a look of our backyard this morning. That's the top. We have a little bit of a cloud cover that's kind of blocking the sunshine from going in, but there we go. That's looking out towards the north. Well, it would be west-northwest.
I'm glad you identified that. I didn't know where we were looking.
Well, see the radio antenna to the right there?
Yeah.
So that's Roxy Inn.
All right.
So we're kind of out there somewhere. And then there's another one here that's kind of interesting. This is a new shot. Well, it's the same shot with a wide angle. This is Treasure Island. I think we have it, Treasure Island. And Treasure Island is, this is a wide shot from Treasure Island looking at the city. So they have a cloud cover there this morning and not seeing too much light yet. So they have a fog cover. But that's Treasure. If you look to the left there, you'll see just the tail end of the Bay Bridge going into the city. And that's the waterfront along where all the piers are.
Yes, beautiful shot. Did you ever imagine that when you started the Dove TV that this would be part of our viewing area?
No.
Huh?
No.
My goodness.
Now here's another one.
What?
This one I'm very familiar with. This is Highway 50 and Highway 99 in Sacramento.
Oh, I know this myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
oh, wow.
That's people heading into town
Yeah.
It's not too bad at the moment. I'm surprised it's not heavier than that.
You know the nice thing about 50? You get on 50 and you go east, you end up in Tahoe skiing.
Well, yeah, you do. You do. Keep going.
All right.
All the way up through Placerville.
Yeah.
That whole area.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Folsom Prison.
Folsom, but that's off to the Folsom. That's just to the left of Highway 50.
Right.
To the north of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to fly over this a lot.
You know, I gotta say, I spent a summer in Sacramento before I ended up skiing in Tahoe, and I really I listened to you on the radio giving directions. I didn't. Can you imagine that years later, God would put me right next to you and say, I was probably at one time. What do you mean traffic? What are you talking about? I probably had bad words for you or something.
Well, if you caught me at my beginning days, which was really quite a hilarious moment because I wasn't trained to do that.
Oh, wow.
The only thing I had was a pilot's license. Okay? And they told me to get in the airplane, and I'm out there waiting for the reporter to come, and they said, well, you're it. I said, well, you guys didn't tell me that part.
Isn't that interesting how you get into these situations in life?
And I'm up flying around. I said, well, I know that's 50, and I know that's Watt Avenue.
Right.
And, and I finally, 9 years later, I figured it out.
Well, here's a guy who is qualified and one of our favorites as Dr. Anthony George looks at the prophet Daniel's prayer.
This is what Daniel knew. Daniel knew it was time to pray. And let me tell you something. There are times to pray, and then there are times to pray. He knew it was time to pray. Daniel knew the power that's available to us, the revelation, the wisdom, the insight through prayer. He believed in prayer so much that when you turn to his letter to the 6th chapter, they outlawed prayer to Yahweh God, to any god besides the pagan gods of the Babylonians. And Daniel's custom was to go into his upper room in his apartment, throw open the shutters, aim towards Jerusalem, the city from which he had been stripped away, and to pray 3 times a day. You know what he did when they outlawed prayer? He went up to his prayer room, flung open the shutters, and prayed 3 times a day. It landed him in the lion's den, but he never stopped praying. Truth is, nobody can outlaw prayer. Somebody said they outlawed prayer in school. As long as they give tests, there will be prayer in school. Amen. Be encouraged. Prayers are lifted in school all day, every day. Why? Because there's Christian kids in public school classrooms, and they're praying to God in the hallways and at their locker and on the athletic fields. There are Christian teachers and Christian principals and Christian administrators. Oh, there's prayer in school. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, as long as there's tests, there's prayer at school. As long as there's athletics, there's prayer at school.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. 12 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. An Operation Economic Outcast to isolate Iran continues. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said yesterday the U.S. is launching an economic onslaught. Basically, what they're doing is now this. They're threatening to take away the dollar exchange of countries that are doing business with Iran, isolating even other countries by the use of the dollar. This may be, I was thinking about this last night. I thought, everybody's worried about the value of the dollar. What happens if they want to do business with America and the only thing they can use is the dollar? The value is just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, here's what Secretary Bessent had to say about all this.
Our objective is to sever every economic lifeline that sustains this tyrannical regime until Tehran stands alone. Iran's fanatics devote themselves to death to America and seek nuclear weapons to do just that. They have murdered and maimed more of our citizens and service members than any other terrorist regime on earth. And they have been at war against America, their neighbors in the Gulf, and much of the world for 47 years. President Trump has taken action that his predecessors have long deferred. And under his leadership, America is no longer managing the Iranian threat. We are ending it.
Interesting.
Well, look, this is amazing. This is they're going to the economic throat.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with other countries that are dealing with Iran and taking away their ability to do business with America by using the dollar. This is huge, absolutely huge. It most likely will work, and I think what they're trying to do now is get it down to the point, unfortunately, where the citizens suffer so much that they revolt.
You know, we saw UAE the other day decide to pull out of all, trade with Iran, and that's one of their, regional neighbors. Have we seen a list of some of the countries that are targeted in this that are continuing to? I'm naturally assuming China is one of their trade partners, but who else is doing business with Iran?
Well, Russia.
Okay. Yeah,
Pakistan.
Yeah.
I don't know where Turkey is. Syria. You got some other countries out there that are friendly.
Okay. Are they primarily regional neighbors then?
Yes.
I mean,
well,
we don't see
Russia
any.
and Russia.
But how about European countries?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What we don't know.
What?
We don't know what we don't know.
Well, now that is a very accurate statement.
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in the Situation Room.
Yeah.
We don't see the raw numbers of all this stuff.
Yeah.
We act like we do on television, and most of the people on TV act like they have the inside info, which nobody really does.
True.
We're not inside all those rooms. Anyway, here's what the president had to say about the economic condition of Iran.
They have no money. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They are not paying their soldiers. They're not paying their police. They have 350% inflation. So we're just going to sort of see what happens. And we have total control, as you know, of the border. We have total control. If you look at the blockade, we have total control of that entire region having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And that means well into it.
Okay. So that's his take. And we don't know. I mean, from what I understand, and trying to get all the angles to this, which is almost impossible these days because so much of it's so biased. But it appears that the economic 350% inflation, I mean, that's almost unbearable. In fact, it is.
Yeah.
And people are walking down their marketplace and they're not buying anything because they can't afford it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the merchant's sitting there saying, if I don't sell you at this price, I don't have anything else to replenish it with. Yeah. Because I can't get it. Right. So, I mean, they really got the country in a tight spot, so we'll see how this all works out. Well, in the meantime, we are heading towards the 9/11 recognition 25 years after 9/11.
25 years, wow.
And it's hard to believe that New York has got a pro-Islamic mayor who said that America deserved 9/11. And I don't know if the citizens of New York have the fortitude to keep them away from the events down at Ground Zero. Who knows?
Yeah.
But as you know, we've been also watching a very one-sided bias show up in the Smithsonian's museums.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And now there's one of the Arab American National Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, has received hundreds of thousands of federal dollars, grant dollars. And the Oversight Committee took a look at this regarding the claims that the Smithsonian Institute exhibits are politically biased and attempt to rewrite American history, and basically saying that the attacks on 9/11 should be more focused on inequities and biases of the Arab Americans.
Right.
And I thought, wait a minute.
Right. They minimalized the tragedy and the victims, true victims of 9/11.
And discrimination.
Yes.
What are we going to do with this?
I don't know. What can they do? Well,
first of all, the president of the Smithsonian, who went before the Congress and was questioned on this, she couldn't respond to any of it.
Right.
Well, I don't know what's going on. Well, you're president. You're supposed to know what's going on there.
Exactly.
So our beautiful Smithsonian Institute have been secretly been undermined to change history.
Yes.
And here, the 9/11 exhibit in Dearborn, Michigan, has been turned to a discrimination case against Muslims than it is for what over 3,000 people, Americans, died on that day innocently. And by the way, you know whose backyard that is? That's Syed's backyard. That's where he's running for Senate.
Where this museum is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I am shocked that 25 years later, this whole thing is being erased. Right under our noses.
Well, you know, I gotta say, and I hate to sound cynical, but we all remember the phrase afterwards, never forget, never forget. And I thought at the time, how long will it take to forget? Because I thought it's inevitable.
1 year later, church attendance dropped in half.
Oh, gosh.
The year after 9/11, church attendance was an all-time high, and everybody was waving an American flag. A year after that, the flags came down, and church attendance cut in half.
Amazing.
So and then you turn around and you have what you have in Michigan, and you have what you have in New York. You got to ask yourself, what in the world are we doing here?
Yes.
And we got now several generations on the scene that have no idea what 9/11 is all
Okay,
about.
let me ask you this. You know, I think there are going to be a lot of people that would be upset if Mamdani ends up at the commemoration of the 25th anniversary of 9/11.
Right.
Who has the power to stop him?
The people. Boo them out.
Boo him out. Okay. I'll go for that. Yeah.
I don't know the authority of the commission on 9/11, if they would have the authority. It's kind of like our buddy, the basketball player that got thrown out.
Oh, Ennis Cantor
Now they want to
Freedom.
ban him for life.
Well, yeah, they're going to watch. Yeah.
Okay. Well, who has the authority to do that?
Great question.
Okay.
Yes.
So the only thing I can say about, if he shows up at ground zero at 9/11, given his statements, it's the ultimate slap in America's face.
Yep.
They need to boo him out. Don't get me wrong. I am not for violence. I am not for...
No, booing is not violent.
I am not for trying to create a riot and all this and that. But the principle of what's here is you have a man that says America deserves 9/11 and going down to commemorate or to pay tribute to 3,000 victims he thinks deserve to die.
Right.
Innocent people. This is just insane. Insane. All right, another little thing. The president did win a little bit of a Supreme Court victory yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Supreme Court said, yeah, you can go ahead and tell states who's on their voter files, and if they're not there, they shouldn't vote.
Which they're supposed to do anyway, by the way.
So the Supreme Court handed the president a major victory. Now, here's the problem.
What?
The case is the president said that the federal government will hand the states voter rolls that should be implemented.
Yeah.
Can the states reject it?
Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So what the Supreme Court has said here, we know that the voter rolls across the United States, all 50 states, have problems.
Oh, absolutely, especially California.
Okay, and here's what the federal indication is on who is eligible to vote. These people should be getting a ballot, not everybody else.
Right.
Which is an indication that the states are not cleaning up their voter rolls. I remember here in Oregon, they say, 800,000 people got a ballot, shouldn't have got a ballot. Let me ask you one question since that story came out.
Okay.
What's been done about it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good question. I don't know. You know,
But he did win it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how enforceable that is.
It was pretty brilliant because, you know, there's supposed to be independence on the states about monitoring elections. The feds aren't supposed to be involved in it. But what he did was he did it through the USPS, United States Postal Service, because they mailed the ballots.
Right.
And so now they're giving it to the USPS to check eligible voters against the voter rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the second part of the case. The first part was, yes, the voter rolls can be enforced by the feds. The second part is, can you force the post office to do this? That case is still hanging out there.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what if that one comes out positive?
I think they're standing on solid ground on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means that the Postal Service is in the ballot business?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you know what? They're handling the ballots, so why not?
Well, I think there should be cutoffs too, but that's a whole other can of worms.
yeah, that is. Yeah, but
All
I
right.
agree.
Well, anyway, we are heading towards an election. Things are pretty crazy, and that's why we have banana splits today.
Absolutely.
So, is it be nice to your enemy?
Yeah, kiss and make up.
Oh, kiss and make up.
Kiss and make
okay,
up.
well, then buy that person a banana split.
Yeah, why not?
And then sit down there and split the banana with them. We'll be right back.
The Salvation Army fleet of vehicles is critical to providing essential services in our community, from picking up food for our food pantry to taking kids to camp and youth programming. We rely on Kelly's Automotive to keep us on the road so we can continue to provide the needs of our community 365 days a year. We can't do that without our fleet of vehicles in Kelly's Automotive.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from the Dove TV.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV. They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
Welcome back. 26 minutes now past the hour on a beautiful Tuesday morning. A little bit of Oregon news, I guess, if we could kind of zero it in on this. This is kind of interesting. The Oregon State Sheriff's Association, the OSSA, voted unanimously to permanently expel Curry County Sheriff John Ward from its board of directors. Apparently, Sheriff Ward had accepted some money from a non-profit organization and spent it personally. So he's off the board. And in the meantime, Representative Court Boyce over there, who represents that district, is calling for his resignation.
I was going to say, doesn't that usually indicate that would follow? Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you recover from this.
Yeah.
And you know what's so interesting? Curry County is not that crowded. It's, I mean, you know, it's beautiful towns along the coast, inland a little bit, but so apparently a little problem along the coastline there. So the sheriff kind of got the boot. He's not out yet, but he's off the board, so I guess that's not a good sign.
No, not at all.
All right, well, we still have fires burning in Oregon. They are getting most of those under control. However, the big one is just north of Reno, and it is a mess. It's now 15,000 acres. They call it the Hawk Fire. About 27% contained. Over 800 firefighters are on the scene. 42,000 residents have been evacuated, and 45,000 residents are prepared to go. And the problem with this fire is wind. Now, this is a good old-fashioned brush fire because they don't have the force like we do. This is just, you know, kind of high desert brushland. But when it burns, it's hot, and it is windy, and it moves, and the embers go everywhere. And so they're slowly getting a handle on it. They have 800 firefighters. They got a ton of equipment on it. They got planes flying when they can, and they're trying to get a handle on it. But this is just north of Reno, causing all kinds of problems up there. And over 1,000 homes have been threatened. Some have been lost. I don't know the number of structures that have burned, but this is a bad one. So thoughts and prayers for the firefighters and the citizens in that area right there in Reno, Nevada.
Okay, and I got a question. All right, we see triggered by human activity.
Yeah.
What was the human activity?
I don't know. They held a news conference. They said this was human cause, and then that was the end of it.
Well, that's confusing. You know,
it is, and the press is saying, well, was it this? Nobody's saying anything, but apparently they have evidence that it's human caused. Now, what that means, who knows?
Right now, we had the latest fire that broke out off of Interstate 5 a couple weeks ago, which was actually human caused because it was a tire blowout. But that, you know, total accident and one of those things. But that really just makes your mind race when you see it, because the first thing I think that we think of is arson when we think of human cause. But it certainly could be something very accidental, but boy, under the conditions, look what can happen.
Well, and that fire spread it kind of went long, you know, because of the wind.
Oh yeah.
And so anyway, it's a bad scene over there. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they'll release that information today. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on out there. We do have clear weather. Today is the hot one. Supposed to get, at least in our backyard, well into the 90s today. And then it starts dropping significantly starting tomorrow. And by the time we get to the weekend, it could just flat be a little on the cool side. So we'll see how that goes. But we look forward to it. But today, make sure your pets have some cold water in the shade.
Yeah, well, you know, the midterms are coming up. And I'm sure the administration would like to see some lower fuel prices going into the midterms. Is it possible? Well, on Fox Business, the bottom line, one of our ex-favorite, well, she's not an ex-favorite. She's still one of our favorites.
Yeah, we just don't get her anymore.
We just don't, she's just one of your ex-guests.
Yeah.
Liz Peek was asked, what, if anything, can the administration do to lower gas prices? And this was her answer.
I mean, not much. They can't. If you look at presidential approval ratings, they rise and fall with the price of gasoline. It is absolutely amazing. That certainly happened for Joe Biden, and it has happened this year with Donald Trump. Unfortunately, between now and November, unless there is some settlement of the hostilities in Iran, unless the Strait of Hormuz begins to function as it was before the war began, with 20% of the oil flowing through that strait, it's very hard to imagine any recourse. It's hard to imagine any path to lower gasoline prices. So obviously they're pushing very hard to bring Iran to the negotiating table. I hope they're successful, because this is going to weigh on Republicans in November.
Yep.
Yeah. You add to that now the trade war with Canada. Which is really something. This one is. I don't see any benefit in it whatsoever.
No. Are you ready for a little twist on this?
Yeah.
Here's a typical Trump move. Now, you know, a lot of it, he throws this stuff out just to throw it out. But did you see he floated changing the name of Lake Ontario? He said, we're not going to do any trade with Ontario anyway, so we'll change it to Lake America. He just likes to pull the pin out of the grenade and toss it in there and see, you know, who explodes on it.
Well, look, this one up in Canada, there's no winners in my opinion. I don't see any winners on this one. And I did have Leighton Gray on yesterday, and his take. Let me just, I don't know if we have comments on him coming up a little bit later on, but I would encourage you to go to the Dove website and watch my interview with Leighton Gray yesterday. He is an attorney in Canada, and Alberta is now kind of like the island of sensible things, and very godly, very Christian-oriented. The one territory or the one province that's inside Canada that is sensible, it could become independent.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa.
But this trade war is, gosh, it's just not good. And it's affecting us here in Oregon in many ways. And some of the other trade things and the tariffs that the president's doing is affecting business around the world, and especially in America. I don't know where this stuff's going to go. I will say this, it's interesting because Governor Tina Kotek is running against President Trump, not Christine Drazan.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, that's
okay.
interesting. Yeah.
So, what's the understanding is that Christine Drazan is a Republican, therefore. Okay. So she's running against Trump, and of course Christine Drazan running for Oregon. So huge difference between the two, but. That's how the Democrats spin everything.
Of course.
And the president's handing him this ammo. I don't get it. I don't know what the trade war is all about. I don't know why this is necessary.
I don't either. Yeah.
So anyway, it's Jerry Bilden at whoever, Yahoo minus...
/banana split.
Bananasplit.pam. We'll be right back.
Children of love and light.
Being in business is challenging. At Network in Action Southern Oregon, we're all about real connection and real growth. We value your time with once-a-month meetings and believe in transformational relationships rather than transactional ones. We have 3 groups in the Valley, a Christian group, a Medford group, and a Grants Pass group, all filled with amazing local professionals. Network in Action Southern Oregon, so much more than just networking. Find out more at sonetworking.com.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. This is a little bit of a lengthy thing, but I think we need to play it all. The socialism gains to support the Democratic Party in the future. Look, they have now gone from being cute to being funny to being now serious. Mm-hmm. You can't just write these off as crazy people. These are people that are gaining momentum.
Yeah.
They may be crazy in their philosophy and their thinking, but they are gaining momentum, and there's a lot of people that like this craziness, and they're joining it. So CBN has quite the story this morning about the debate of the future of the Democratic Party.
Throughout modern American political history, socialism has almost always been considered taboo. But as Bob Dylan wrote, the times, they may be a-changin'. Longtime socialist Senator Bernie Sanders keeps high-profile company like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who once called capitalism irredeemable, and New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, who has talked of the ultimate goal.
There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right, or whether it is the end goal of ceasing the means of production.
These days, that trio is joined by a growing collection of candidates hoping to turn democratic socialism from a sideshow into a political powerhouse. The movement has momentum. Mika Utrick is editor of one of the country's most popular socialist magazines.
Obviously, socialism has been seen as a dirty word for many decades in this country, the product of McCarthyism and many other things. But increasingly, it doesn't seem like such a bad word for so many people.
The movement is propelled by the Democratic Socialists of America, or DSA. Created in 1982, the organization had roughly 6,000 members. Then, along came Bernie Sanders.
The next president of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders.
His 2016 presidential campaign helped the ideology enter mainstream political conversation.
His campaign really showed people that there is an appetite in this country among tens of millions of people for democratic socialism, for an alternative kind of politics.
After Donald Trump won the White House, thousands of young, upset activists poured into the organization. Today, DSA claims more than 120,000 members, the largest socialist organization in American history. And we're seeing the result from that at the ballot box. DSA's current election tracker shows 49 wins this cycle, with 8 of its supported candidates winning federal primaries. While 2 other major progressives, Abdul El Sayed in Michigan and Peggy Flanagan in Minnesota, aren't considered formal DSA victories, they ran on many of the same themes. Bottom line, more socialists could soon be walking the halls of Congress.
What is happening in the Democratic Party is that a group of people, Democratic socialists, see the party leadership not advancing an agenda that is particularly compelling for much of the country. The Democratic brand, the Democratic Party brand is really in the toilet right now and throughout much of the United States.
A closer look under the DSA hood, so to speak, is where this is becoming a problem for the Democrat Party. DSA's wish list for America includes abolishing the police and prison systems, ending ICE, legalizing migration, public ownership of America's largest corporations and essential industries. Add that to getting rid of the Senate and replacing the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary branch chosen by Congress.
Most of it I agree with, and there are parts of it that I don't. I don't think, for example, that abolishing prisons is necessarily something that we're going to ever accomplish. But I do think that there is a real crisis in this country around the carceral system.
That eyebrow-raising agenda has longtime progressives concerned about where their party could be headed. Democrat veterans, including Rahm Emanuel and James Carville, along with liberal comedian Bill Maher, have all raised concerns about a party moving too far left. And then there's longtime progressive Van Jones, a supporter of Medicare for All and the Green New Deal, but he sees a DSA trying to redefine what progressive means.
Ideas that are literally insane, nutty, moronic, dangerous, bigoted, are not progressive. They're regressive, and they should not be in our party.
The problem for Democrats is this movement is catching on. In 2010, 50% viewed socialism favorably. By 2018, it reached 57%, and now it stands at 66%. Add to this, 75% of Democrats today say they would be open to vote for a Democratic socialist for president, compared to 42% of all registered voters. Moderate Democrat John Cowan, president of the centrist Third Way organization, sees trouble ahead.
We think the DSA is toxic, crazy, has horrible ideas for America, and will ultimately make it impossible for Democrats to win majorities and get the White House back. If we cede the party to the far left, they'll take it over, they'll destroy it, and Democrats will hold only the bluest seats in the deepest blue places and be locked out of the White House for a generation.
At this point, socialist wins have typically come in deep blue areas, not statewide, so the resonating message may be more selective at this point.
I think that it's going to depend on where you are in the country, what kind of appeal and what kind of pitch that you're making to voters, certainly. But so far, it seems like the Democratic Socialist pitch to Democratic voters and other kinds of voters all around the country is actually a quite compelling one.
Part of the compelling reason isn't all economic based. It taps into the same reason why the far right crowd doesn't trust establishment Republicans.
I think that what you see happening on the right with some figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Tucker Carlson, even like Trump himself, is a reflection of people's they've absolutely had it with the status quo of both major parties in this country. And they're looking for something very different from what they have experienced in politics up to this time.
While there's no doubt that's a reality in today's politics, Cowan sees something ahead even scarier for Democrats.
Right now, I feel like Thomas Paine standing on a soapbox, screaming for people to pay attention to what's happening, because I'll tell you, the British are coming to destroy the Democratic Party. And in this instance, the British are the DSA and their fellow travelers, and they have one objective, destroy and take over the Democratic Party. They don't care what the consequences of that are.
The consequences so far is an organized, energetic socialist movement scoring more political victories at the polls than at any point in modern American politics. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
All right, let's check out the weather. It's also interesting, and there's no socialism here.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville become sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s. McMinnville turns mostly sunny with a daytime high of 85 this afternoon. Becoming sunny through the Willamette Valley in Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with highs in the mid 80s. Overnight lows range from the lower to mid 50s across the valley tonight. In Central Oregon, patchy smoke gives way to mostly sunny skies at 95 in Prineville, 91 in Bend, and a high of 89 in Sun River. Over in Boise, hot with increasing clouds and a high in the upper 90s. Along the coast, Coos Bay sees gradual clearing with a high near 69 and partly sunny and 58 in Port Orford. Decreasing clouds give way to sunshine and 54 in Brookings, while in Crescent City, mostly cloudy near 60. In southern Oregon, Grass Pass becomes sunny with a high near 95, while Medford stays sunny and hot in the upper 90s. We'll see sunny in Ashland near 93 and upper 80s in Klamath Falls. In Northern California, 94 in Wairika with skies becoming sunny. Redding and Chico stay mostly sunny in the mid-90s, while Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds at a much cooler high near 60. Mostly sunny in the Bay Area with Santa Rosa and Napa seeing early fog before warming to 81. San Francisco sees decreasing clouds near 69, and San Jose stays partly sunny with a daytime high near 83. For Central California, Sacramento sees decreasing clouds with a high near 94, while Stockton, Modesto becomes sunny near 95. Fresno, Visalia reach 103 under sunny and hot conditions, with Bakersfield close behind at 102. And that's a look at your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh, yes. The banjo music starts, and it makes me wonder, are there any conspiracy theories that you're fond of?
Santa Claus.
That's good. Good answer. All right. Well, there are a bunch out there. And you know, to this day, there are folks who believe that the U.S. moon landings were an absolute hoax.
Yep.
But on this day in history, there was a real moon hoax. If you think conspiracy theories are a modern invention, think again. On this day in 1835, the New York Sun began publishing what became known as the Great Moon Hoax. The newspaper claimed famed astronomer John Herschel had used a powerful new telescope to discover forests, rivers, unicorns, bipedal beavers, and even four-legged tall winged human-like creatures living on the moon. And people actually believed it. The 6-part series became a sensation, sending the newspaper's circulation soaring. The problem? None of it was true. The newspaper later claimed it was actually satire written by newspaper reporter Richard Adams Locke. But some say it was just a clever hoax to sell more newspapers. Herschel, who was really in South Africa conducting astronomical research, eventually got so tired of answering questions about the supposed lunar discoveries that he complained he was being constantly pestered about the ridiculous hoax. So nearly 200 years before social media, somebody was already putting completely made-up stuff on the internet. Okay, technically, it was a newspaper.
And that gave birth to Star Wars. All right?
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
the things
gosh.
we get sucked into, huh?
Oh, you know, and there's so much of it online today.
Oh, yes.
One of the big stories about 2 days ago was that King Charles was going to step down.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And people were buying it left and right. All you got to do, if you see something on social media, immediately go to a major news source and see if it's there.
Yes, yes.
And go to 2 or 3. If it's not there,
Right,
it's a hoax.
right. And speaking of the royals...
Yeah, well, Harry and Meghan are back.
They're moving back! What do you think about that?
Well, this is going to be real pressure on Prince William.
I think so. Good point. Yes.
I don't think Prince William, I don't know how he's going to handle this, but you got to remember one thing. Prince William will be king someday.
Right.
And he can dethrone his own brother.
Ooh, that's interesting. Now, I know he's not a happy camper about
Not a happy camper.
Yeah. Well, I can't
we're going to happy camp to a cream puff. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
In a time when our culture faces unprecedented challenges,
I want to talk about the role of a Christian even in a hostile culture.
Christian apologist and evangelist Alex McFarland addresses the hard-hitting questions about faith, morality, and culture.
People are hungry for truth, and we've got to rise to the challenge of our assignment as the church.
Know your faith better to be equipped to defend it in a world searching for answers.
But when you put the face of like an earthly man on God, then you're never going to understand who God is.
God takes pleasure in you, and the very sight of you is joy and blessing.
Alex McFarland, inspiring believers through apologetics to boldly stand for truth in a critical time. Catch him Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us. Real Life with Jack Hibbs, now on the Dove TV every weekend. Direct from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice the biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Welcome back on this Tuesday morning, 9 minutes before the hour. The other day I had Representative Cliff Bentz live in the studio with me. It's always a joy to have him around, and he's in the district for a lot of reasons. But I did ask him what was his take on the president declaring the Straits of Hormuz U.S. territory. You know, one of those grenades in the campfire.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's what Representative Bentz had to say.
I must say the president tends to overstate many things, and declaring the Strait a territory is one of those overstatements. But the initial thought that caused him to attack Iran was correct. They had 800 pounds of 60% enriched uranium on hand, still do, and that could have been made into between 7 and 11 warheads. It would have taken them about 2 weeks to move that to weapon grade material. 2 weeks. For all we know, they already did, but then it would have taken, they thought at that time, about a year to develop the missiles necessary to reach Europe. In fact, they already have those missiles. They'd been lying about that among many other things. So his thought in saying we cannot allow fanatics that run this Iranian nation the opportunity to blow us up, as they say they want to do, kill Americans, so destroy Americans. So he did the right thing. The challenge now is how do we resolve this, what has been a pending situation for many, many years. But push did come to shove. He called the question, and now the question is, how do we unwind this?
Okay, well, we're in it. Look, the president seems to be still bent on no nukes, and so does Israel. We have not heard the plan on how to de-nuke them. Right now, it's an economic squeeze to get rid of the regime, but we haven't heard the plan is how you're going to de-nuke it.
Yes.
We haven't heard that one.
Well, it was interesting. It was kind of revealing of some of the things that he said there. He was talking about the uranium, and our goal was to eliminate it, get it away from him. And he said that they still have it, and that their goal was to enrich it, and they may have already done it.
Yeah.
So what exactly has been accomplished in the denuking process that we've been doing over there?
Well, I'm still... Well, we better get out of this.
Oh, come on.
It's endless because it's endless. I mean, the one thing we don't seem to be getting straight here is these people lie.
Yeah, true. Right?
They haven't done one thing.
Right.
How do you treat that? And the only thing that I think that's holding the president back is the midterm.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where that goes. That seems to be the wedge in the door right now from anything going on. So, all right, we've got some great guests coming up. Bill Gallagher. Oh, no, Bill's in the house.
All right. Yeah.
Unconditional love thy neighbor.
Okay, on this Kiss and Make Up Day.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, but boy, we love rescue stories.
All right.
And boy, do I have one.
Okay.
Check this out.
For 3 days, a family in the Philippines feared their beloved pet dog was gone forever. Lexa, a 2-year-old golden retriever, disappeared when a landslide crashed through her family's home after days of heavy rain. The family was evacuated, and there was no sign of Lexa. Then, 3 days later, they heard something they never expected, a faint bark coming from beneath tons of mud and debris. Rescuers immediately went to work using jackhammers and hand tools to carefully dig through the wreckage. Finally, they opened a small hole, and Lexa crawled out alive. After spending 3 days buried beneath the rubble, she was finally back in her family's arms. Sometimes, hope sounds like a little bark in the darkness.
Imagine that, Lexa. What a good girl. Yeah, what a good girl. She was all chipper. 3 days under there.
Wow.
That's amazing. No food, no water, and she just comes crawling out, wagging her tail.
Wagging the tail.
Yeah,
we need to wag more and bark less.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Jonathan Kahn will be with us, the author of the new book, The Altar of the... Oh, well, we'll talk about this one. The Throne of Satan.
Oh,
I love dark subjects on a Tuesday.
Oh, you got it, don't you?
Oh, well, we'll see how that goes. I can spin it.
Yeah. Well, on the other one, you got Bill Gallagher.
Well, Bill Gallagher.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about all God's unconditional love for the believer. Why do we have a high time accepting that? Why do we, even after the forgiveness of sins, we put conditions on them?
Well, I was going to say, is it the word unconditional? Is that the problem?
That's the problem.
That's the choking point?
We got to get that into our brain up here. All right, take with you Acts chapter 1, verse 8. But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in all Judea, Samaria, and to the other ends of the earth. So you know what that is? That's your home base. That's the state of Oregon. That's the United States, and then the foreign field.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what that means.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser, producer and host of The Ancient Church. Join me Sunday evenings as we explore Orthodox Christianity, its history, theology, worship, and living traditions.
The Ancient Church, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Watching Financial Issues equips you to navigate it with financial wisdom and advice rooted in biblical truth. Expert Mark Manila empowers believers to be faithful stewards while navigating the markets, politics, and economy with confidence. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just beginning, gain wisdom, clarity, and confidence to honor God with every financial decision. Weekdays at 5 on the Dove. The world has a view, but God has the vision. That's what sets the Vision TV show apart. The Vision is an inspirational talk show that elevates voices of faith through powerful conversations, highlighting changemakers making a difference, blending heartfelt storytelling with practical insight, encouraging viewers to live life with clarity, compassion, and vision. Join Elvita King and friends for The Vision, Tuesdays right here on theDove TV. You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for Salem, Kaiser, and the Willamette Valley. Seen on KSLM 27 and these Dove TV affiliates. Tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Hey, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is the place.
It is.
This is where it all happens. This is, as what the late Rush Limbaugh would say, this is where everybody else gets the morning show prep.
And that is the truth. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was for him. I know that.
I know.
Yeah.
I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
That's funny.
Just an amazing person. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. A lot going on in the news. This is kind of our peak of the hot temperature today, at least in our backyard. We're expecting pretty hot temperatures. Well, I'll say it's not scorching hot, but it's going to be in the high 90s. And then it starts to back down significantly as we head towards the weekend.
It didn't really cool off that much last night either, did it?
No, the days are shorter. It gets cooler faster. But anyway, we still got fire problems. We'll talk about that. The headlines are just amazing. Wait 10 minutes, they'll change.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So what's up, man?
Well, we're going to kiss and make up. Whoever you got a problem with, it is National Kiss and Make Up Day, reminding us to end quarrels, arguments, and fights. Instead, come to an agreement with anyone you've had a disagreement with on this National Kiss and Make Up Day. And I hope somebody comes into mind, unless you're one of those that never encounters that in your life.
Well, the scripture says about giving them a cold glass of water, befriending them, taking them a meal.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yes.
Of course, that's your enemy. That's not the person that you've had a disagreement with.
Well, sometimes the people that we have disagreements with turn into our enemies.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
But, hopefully that's
You overcome
not the case.
evil with good.
Yeah.
You turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
But then do you turn the other one back?
Oh. Yeah. Well, kiss and make up.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's that day.
Smoochy, smoochy.
Smoochy. It's also National Park Service Founders Day. On this day in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed what is now called the Organic Act to establish the National Park Service. It is part of the Department of Interior, and the National Park Service protects 400 areas in 50 states, U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia, totaling, check this out, 84 million acres. And a lot of folks like to go to the national parks. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful if you take your RV there, because sometimes they have length restrictions.
Yeah.
30-footer is like the one, or 28-footer, depending on where you are, but it's tough to get in. And there are people that go on National Park Service tours. They have these little routes. I see them planned out on Facebook and stuff, and they have the map that they go, and they go to all these different things. It's a roundabout little thing, and you can go to all these different national parks, and, I think, well, that's a pretty good idea if you got the time and the money for the gas.
Yeah.
Especially this summer.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Especially maybe if you're driving a diesel. It gets worse, doesn't it?
Well, you got 2 more weeks before schools. Well, some schools have already started.
Yeah.
So be careful. Some school zones are active right now.
And we got the midterms coming up, so naturally we're going to find some way to get the fuel prices down, right?
I have my theory on that, but that's all it is.
We'll look at that a little bit later. So, and only one thing to eat. It's good. It is National Banana Split Day, originally served in drugstores, soda fountains, and ice cream parlors. The banana split is traditionally served in a long dish called a boat. And I think a lot of people realize that to make a banana split, you just simply cut the banana lengthwise and place it in the dish, then add scoops of vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry ice cream between the slices of banana. Each scoop gets a topping. Add crushed pineapple to the strawberry, drizzle chocolate syrup over the vanilla, add strawberry topping to the chocolate, and then sprinkle with crushed nuts. Finally, garnish with whipped cream and a maraschino cherry.
Right there.
There you go. Voila. The banana split. I don't know who invented it or who would take credit for it, but it looks delicious, and enjoy it.
Well, there was a time you and I could eat one alone.
Yes, yeah, right. Those days are long gone.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
It
thanks.
has to come with 50 spoons.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I could order one if I have grandkids with me.
There you go.
Because then I could only, I just get 1 or 2 bites, and that's enough.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Well, here's a guy with whipped cream and a little cherry on top. He does the weather.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville become sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s. McMinnville turns mostly sunny with a daytime high of 85 this afternoon. Becoming sunny through the Willamette Valley in Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with highs in the mid 80s. Overnight lows range from the lower to mid 50s across the valley tonight. In Central Oregon, patchy smoke gives way to mostly sunny skies at 95 in Prineville, 91 in Bend, and a high of 89 in Sun River. Over in Boise, hot with increasing clouds and a high in the upper 90s. Along the coast, Coos Bay sees gradual clearing with a high near 69 and partly sunny and 58 in Port Orford. Decreasing clouds give way to sunshine and 54 in Brookings, while in Crescent City, mostly cloudy near 60. In southern Oregon, Grass Pass becomes sunny with a high near 95, while Medford stays sunny and hot in the upper 90s. We'll see sunny in Ashland near 93 and upper 80s in Klamath Falls. In Northern California, 94 in Wairika with skies becoming sunny. Redding and Chico stay mostly sunny in the mid-90s, while Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds and a much cooler high near 60. Mostly sunny in the Bay Area with Santa Rosa and Napa seeing early fog before warming to 81. San Francisco sees decreasing clouds near 69, and San Jose stays partly sunny with a daytime high near 83. For Central California, Sacramento sees decreasing clouds with a high near 94, while Stockton, Modesto becomes sunny near 95. Fresno, Visalia reach 103 under sunny and hot conditions, with Bakersfield close behind at 102. And that's a look at your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Well, there's a picture of our backyard. Now, that's the south end from the east side looking west. So that's right around that little point out there is Jacksonville. To the very far left is Ashland. Now it's looking down over Talent in the Phoenix area. High and dry. We do have some clouds over the top of us this morning. Hopefully that kind of sticks around, but I think it's going to burn off because that would kind of reduce the temperatures a little bit.
Yeah.
The other shot we have is a familiar one, but it's a little bit different. This is from Treasure Island, and it's looking towards the city this morning. Do we have that one, Scott? There it is. So the city's socked in with a little fog.
Yeah.
So that's actually the pier line. Way over to the left, you'll see the last 2 towers of the Bay Bridge, and then that's downtown San Francisco. So a little cloudy there this morning. And then the last one is a very familiar shot for me. I'd see this every morning about 15, 20 times when I was flying the airplane down there. This is Highway 50 and 99 interchange. So this is, you can see the cars going back and forth. Actually, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's really pretty good.
Looking pretty good there this morning. So that's, yeah.
To my ute.
Yeah, so it looks like it's moving along pretty smooth, and you know.
Yep.
So
how far out 50 would you fly?
Oh gosh, it depends on what was going on. The first plane I flew was a Cardinal. We flew the pants off of 2 of those. We did.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, we'd fly 5-6 hours a day in that thing, sometimes more on TV. But let's see, Highway 50. I'd go to Placerville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then you cut across over Folsom Lake, and you pick up just north of Roseville and come in on 80.
All right.
But all that's houses now. You'd go clear out the Lincoln and circle around and do all that. But that's all been replaced with cameras.
Well, you really made some. You covered ground.
Oh, we did. And then when I flew for KFBK, we had a little bit bigger and faster airplane. I would go all the way to Vacaville, all the way to Auburn, Placerville, down to Stockton.
Wow.
Up to Marysville. I'd fly all that in the morning.
Whoa, you must have a lot of hours.
Well, I got a few.
I bet.
Probably, it's kind of like an airline pilot. You know, you got a lot of hours going to the same place. I got a lot of hours going in circles. It was like I was tethered to Sacramento, you know.
Yeah, but that's all good.
Yeah. Flying a lot of circles.
All right. Well, speaking of all good, here's Dr. Anthony George building a bridge between blessing and worship.
Daniel responded when God answered his prayer. And Daniel worshiped God by being reminded that God rules and reigns above all. Above all what? Just above all. Above all people, above all powers, above all forces, above all the earth, above all the galaxies, above all the universe. God rules above it all. Do you believe that today? God revealed the contents of Nebuchadnezzar's dream to Daniel as well as the interpretation. And suddenly what others said was impossible with God became possible. And Daniel breaks out in worship. Look in verse 19. It says, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. What did he do? He blessed the God of heaven. In verse 20, it says, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and you have now made known to me what we asked of you, for you have made known to us the king's demand.
There you go. Yep. By the way, Peggy reminded me yesterday that Dr. Anthony George is going to be filling in, I believe, this weekend for Dr. David Jeremiah.
Oh.
Dr. David Jeremiah takes several weeks off a year. And last weekend, he had Robert Morgan speak for him, and I interviewed Robert Morgan the other day. He's really a great guy. But Dr. Anthony George is going to go and speak at Shadow Mountain. And he talked about how he gets the call from Dr. David Jeremiah to go, and he said, well, let me pray about it. Okay, I'll go.
I like it.
So anyway, he's going to go speak at Shadow Mountain. That's good stuff all the way around. All right, let's see here. What are we doing? I lost place already.
Oh, you can look at some headlines.
Headlines, okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I got wrapped up in things. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Well, one of the big ones is the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, basically is telling the world, he said yesterday, that we're have launched the Operation Economic Outcast to isolate Iran from all of its neighbors. And he is saying, look, we're putting the squeeze on everybody that does business with Iran, including its neighbors, and we will threaten to take away their use of the dollar. Big deal. Anyway, here's what the Secretary had to say.
To those who enable Tehran, do not discount the cost of testing Washington's resolve. No nation should expect to enjoy the rewards of our system while helping those who seek to destroy it. It is now a time for world leaders to make a decision between prosperity and isolation, peace and terror, America and Iran. The campaign we begin today will gather force with every day that follows, and it will not end until this regime stands alone.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is, for the first time, I think, in a global sense, America's using its strongest asset. Even though we have the largest, biggest, most impacting military in the world, our biggest hammer is economics, and we're using that to come against this regime. Its impact is amazing. The people over there, unfortunately, are going to suffer dearly until they turn on the regime. Where this plays into denuking Iran is yet to be seen, but the president weighed in, and here's what he had to say about the economic squeeze.
They have no money. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They are not paying their soldiers. They're not paying their police. They have 350% inflation. So we're just going to sort of see what happens. And we have total control, as you know, of the border. We have total control. If you look at the blockade, we have total control of that entire region having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And that means well into it.
Okay, so this is it. We'll see where this is going to go, but it is going to continue to take gas prices up. And added to this now, where I don't understand it, to me, I don't see any real good sense in it, but we're also in a trade war with Canada.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that's going to lead.
Well, you know, with this thing that's going on over in the Middle East with Iran, we see two facets to this conflict. Obviously, we see the military operations that are going on, but we also see this economic side of it, which brings in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. Have we ever seen a Treasury Secretary this involved, this much, the face of the administration, and so active in this part of the economic operation?
Well, you're making a great point. I think we've never seen a Secretary of Treasury this active in global economics.
Yes.
We have seen one that would be responsive or responsible to local, economics and Treasury issues. But the other thing we're learning here is how much power this office has that it can influence globally.
Goodness. Yes.
And so,
I would expect the left to be saying, wait a minute, the office of the Secretary of Treasury has gotten too powerful. We need to cut.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to come
But
out.
Remember who was under the Biden administration was Janet Yellen. I could never imagine her in this kind of a role that Scott Bessent has evolved into.
No, and this is, well, anyway. To answer your question, it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, the other one is whoever thought that there, for quite a few years, there's been this undercurrent within the Smithsonian institutions, the Smithsonian museums there in Washington, D.C., to change the narrative of some of the displays. And such is the case that showed up in Dearborn, Michigan, that the Arab American National Museum there in Dearborn, Michigan, has received hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal grant funding, only to find out that 25 years after 9/11 attacks, a Smithsonian affiliate there in Michigan continues to use the 9/11 exhibits and anniversary programming to focus on discrimination
against
and the government that took action against Muslims.
Right.
Nothing said about the 3,000 innocent Americans that died on that day.
Exactly.
How in the world did this happen? Yeah. And as you know, the president of the Smithsonian was brought into Congress and questioned. She couldn't answer most of the questions.
Right, or wouldn't answer them.
Or wouldn't answer.
Yeah.
She needs to go.
Right.
But, so this is the deliberate, intentional rewriting of history. Right underneath our nose. Now, by the way, this is Al Sayed's district that he's running for a U.S. Senate.
And what an insult. What an insult to the victims, the families of the victims. That's just terrible.
Here we are going into the 25th anniversary of 9/11. It's hard to believe that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember it so well. I was live on the air that morning on radio. But anyway, and New York has elected a pro-Islamic, radical Islamic mayor who says on numerous occasions that America deserved 9/11. And I don't know if he's going to show up at Ground Zero on 9/11 for the recognition of that day and the ringing of the bell and the reading of the names. If he shows up, my opinion, don't write me a letter. I guess you can. I don't care. I'll read it. He just needs to be booed away.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let's see. What do I have? Oh, the president won one with the Supreme Court yesterday.
Oh, boy, I'll say.
If you remember, the president, by executive order, said that the federal government needs to give to the states voter rolls that are accurate. And, of course, that was challenged all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said yesterday, yes, the president has this power to do this, and it should be done. Here's the problem now. The second part of the case has to do with the Postal Service, who would be accepting these ballots. And that part of the case is still undecided. What do you think?
Well, yeah, they actually, this is a brilliant move on the part of the administration, because there's been a big tussle about this on states' rights, saying that states have the responsibility of administering and regulating elections.
Right.
But when it comes to mail-in ballots, it's the U.S. Postal Department that sends them out and then receives them. And in sending them out, the president said, "Oh well, you just check against eligible voters against who the voters are being, who these ballots are being sent to, and see if it lines up." Which, by the way, was supposed to be done by the states anyway.
Yes.
But they've abdicated that portion of the responsibility.
Right.
So I think it was brilliant in how they put this, and it again goes on the Postal Service, and the U.S. Supreme Court has said this does not infringe upon states' rights. So I have a feeling that this might, now there will be challenges, and you know there will be a district court somewhere, a judge that'll say, hold on, they'll put an injunction in, we're going to stay this, we're going to put this in place. But the Supreme Court, I think, has been pretty clear on this one.
Yeah, so I don't know if another injunction can come in against the Supreme Court, but apparently the feds can move ahead with supplying voter rolls that are accurate. So we'll see.
Yeah,
this is
oh, what a deal!
Just in time for. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. It's really interesting to see what our own Secretary of State does with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are some of the top stories on this split banana cream puff day.
Yeah.
You like banana splits?
I do. Yeah. National Kiss and Makeup Day, and then have a banana split with that person.
So get a banana split, 2 big spoons, and sit down and work it out.
Bingo.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV.
Take the Dove TV wherever you go worldwide. We're seen live 24/7 and streaming on demand on all major platforms, including Roku, Apple, Google, and Fire TV. Plus, you can catch the Dove TV and radio online at the new theDove.us and the Dove's new mobile app. Download today. Bring powerful, God-centered content and news with you wherever you go. From the Dove, encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome back, and happy, Tuesday to you. A couple of stories here that are interesting, some Oregon stories. Well, one Oregon story, one Nevada story. A little bit of a paint place going on in Curry County along the Oregon coastline. The Oregon State Sheriff's Association, the OSSA, voted unanimously to permanently expel Curry County Sheriff John Ward from its board of directors. Apparently, Sheriff Ward the investigator concluded, had been untruthful and had taken foundational donations for his own personal use, according to the association. In the meantime, Court Boyce, who is the representative from that area, is calling for his resignation. So this is kind of a...
You think that would be just like the next natural move? I mean, that sounds a bit corrupt, doesn't it?
Well, look, I don't know how you survive this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what he has to do is find a nice way to bow out. But when you lose the support of your association, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
And how employable are you?
Oh, gosh.
You know, so I don't know what you do. I don't know if there's a contract involved in all of those things, but apparently they were able to prove it, and they're not happy with it, and so they voted him out. Okay. The other one is the big fire over in Reno. It's called the Hawk Fire, threatening thousands of homes. Already 42,000 people have been given the go evacuation. This as of 2 days ago. Another 45,000 have been given the warning to be prepared to go. It has grown now to 15,000 acres. This is a good old-fashioned brush fire, if I can put it that way. And what's driving it is that wind that comes and goes in that area. They have over 800 firefighters working the fire. There has been some loss of structure, but I don't have an exact count. And they have a lot of airplanes and helicopters and all kinds of assets on the fire, but this is really, really something. It's a big one, and that wind over there just makes it almost unbearable. It is 27% contained. They're slowly getting a handle on it, but it's better known as the Hawk Fire, and that's the big one. In the meantime, Oregon still has some fires going. Our count is at 2.4 million acres have burnt this year, or burning. Most of those now are under control or just about under control, so we thank the Lord for that. But the shorter days and cooler nights are creating some good working conditions with that kind of stuff. All right, let's take a look at the stock market for this Tuesday morning. And thank you, Preston, with Smartlon. He's a smart guy, and you are too. The Dow's up a booming 26 points. Wow. The Nasdaq is up 158, and the S&P up 22. So it's green, but not very much. So keep an eye on that. Dow still above 53,000. Wow. Gold down a few pennies, 46.62. So is silver down to $67.50. And crude oil, well, it did below. Hey, it's below 90. Yahoo. 89.30. Go out and fill up, Jerry. Buy another gallon.
I'm running. I'm on my way.
No, buy another gallon today.
Oh, yeah.
1 gallon at a time. By the end of the week, you'll get home.
Yeah, that's more true than you realize.
There you go.
But, anyway. Well, Liz Peek is responding to, we're looking at the wealth tax in California.
Yep.
And boy, is it affecting the migration outwards. I mean, yeah. So, and it's interesting because here Mark Cuban, who is no friend of the right, but is very, very opposed to this. Liz Peek is responding to Mark Cuban and Ro Khanna fighting the wealth tax in California on Fox Business's The Bottom Line.
It becomes personal, doesn't it? When a billionaire says, a billionaire can be very far left, as Mark Cuban has been from time to time. He says he's not a Republican or a Democrat. He sort of swings with the wind. But the reality is now he is in the crosshairs of people who want to tax billionaires. The stupidest thing about this is, first of all, it's an unmanageable tax. Imposing this tax would be a nightmare in every possible respect. They're saying it's only 1 year. Forget that. It won't just be 1 year. It won't just be billionaires. A wealth tax in California, which, by the way, Gavin Newsom has been opposing, but then because he's so desperate to run for president, knows that he needs the leftist approval ratings to go up. Now he's espousing one for the entire country, which, honestly, Gavin Newsom is just burying himself in contradictions. But I think the biggest thing about this is California is losing businesses and people at a very fast clip. Guess what? That also means fewer Democrats from California in the House of Representatives and fewer electoral college votes. So don't they care about that? Yeah, they do. But it's just sort of like, this is the SEIU. That's who's behind this. And they cannot resist bowing to unions.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah,
she's brilliant, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
I miss her having her on the program. Why? Because Fox offered her this little thing called money.
Yeah, you mean they could pay her more than you can?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot more.
Okay.
Up from zero is anything. Yes. Okay. All right. Banana splits. We'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
Happy Tuesday to you. Well, you know, you say banana splits and everybody's brain goes on tilt. All right, good morning to you. Well, the big thing is this whole global economic operation, economic outcast, that's what they're calling it now, against Iran. It's pretty significant. Julie Stahl with CBN News kind of gives us a recap on it this morning.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the launch of Operation Economic Outcast, aimed to cause what he called the economic asphyxiation of the Iranian regime and sanctions on any nation trying to help them.
Beginning today, the actions of Treasury and other agencies will tighten the noose and block every potential source of revenue that funds the IRGC and the evil Iranian regime. We are enforcing a zero leakage approach. There will be no minimal breathing space for the regime to rebuild its capacity to inflict terror against America and the world.
Bessent said President Trump is making calls to world leaders and asking them to cease their interactions with the regime.
No one is above the reach of U.S. sanctions. That if they facilitate transactions and are part of the ecosystem that turns Iranian oil into money, into repression, they will be targeted. We know who they are. They know who they are. So when the hammer of U.S. Treasury actions falls upon them, they will have no one to blame but themselves.
Iran's foreign ministry says the U.S. has no justification for the sanctions and is violating international law. U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the sanctions don't rule out military operations against Iran.
Economic pressure, we know, hurts them the most right now. But by no means are we foreclosing using kinetic strikes anywhere in the Strait of Hormuz or around Iran.
In a post on X, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu backed the plan, congratulating the president and secretary, writing, "You justly exact a steep price from that cruel dictatorship and from those who assist its continued aggression." In a telephone interview on Israel's Channel 14, Netanyahu also said Iran tried to murder one of his sons. And Iranian state media released a video putting a $10 million bounty on 20-year-old Barron Trump, President Trump's youngest son.
And Julie joins me now from Jerusalem. Julie, I'm so curious. The top economic trading partners of Iran right now are China, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Iraq, India, and Pakistan. What are they all saying about this so-called Operation Economic Outcast?
Well, there's not a lot of discourse. We're not hearing a lot, but Iranian officials and parliamentary leaders, they've kind of dismissed the whole thing as just, empty threats and asserting that the U.S. lacks the economic leverage to further restrict global relations, and urging its trading partners to ignore the warnings. China, which is a big trading partner with Iran, its top trading partner. They haven't really said anything yet, but the U.S. has cautioned that they will put sanctions on China. Also, the Houthis, they're one of their biggest proxies. They've warned other countries against backing the U.S. sanctions and urging them not to become tools for implementing the unjust U.S. measures against the Iranian people. Abu Dhabi has recently announced that they are cutting trade ties with Tehran, which is a good thing. And, the international financial markets haven't really showed much reaction to the announcement. Of course, it hasn't been too long since the announcement came out. So it's a little not really certain what's going on right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, China gobbles up between 30 to 40% of the crude oil coming out of Iran. So it'll be interesting. Xi Jinping, the president of China, is supposed to meet with President Trump at the White House next month. You mentioned in your piece, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth talked about not just the economic pressure, but also said, hey, this whole idea of military operations against the regime is not off the table. Is there an expectation there in Israel and across the Middle East that war could potentially resume in the not too distant future?
Yeah, I think that would be the case. Everybody's a little bit on pins and needles trying to pretend like everything's normal, but it's really not. And there is that sense that things could break out. We heard the Houthi threat. There was also an attack on a ship not far from the Strait of Hormuz today. It was kind of an unidentified attack. Nobody really knows exactly what it was. The vessel was slightly damaged. No crew were hurt. But so there's definitely tension. Definitely seems like things could go in that direction.
Tell us more about this comment that Netanyahu mentioned that the Iranians were targeting his family.
Yeah, they said that we don't have a lot of details, but Netanyahu gave the information in this television interview. They said that the plot has been under military censorship for several months. It was only revealed on Monday evening. But Netanyahu used the disclosure to defend the fact that his family gets a lot of protection from the Shin Bet, which I would say he needs. And, it is really a stunning personal escalation that Iran is making these kind of threats.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
I do know this. Isn't it interesting that Netanyahu's sons have been threatened? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's been under high security. It should be.
Yeah.
But if you notice this term, that none of the Trump children, grandchildren, have really been in the news.
Right, they have really had low profile.
Very, very low profile.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe with the exception of Laura Trump, who had her little gig on Fox, but even that I think is being pulled back. So
yeah. And you can really understand it.
Oh,
I mean, look what the pressure they've been under.
Oh, it's just
tremendous.
Amazing. All right, let's take a look at the weather. Here's another guy under a lot of pressure called high pressure.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville become sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s. McMinnville turns mostly sunny with a daytime high of 85 this afternoon. Becoming sunny through the Willamette Valley in Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with highs in the mid 80s. Overnight lows range from the lower to mid 50s across the valley tonight. In Central Oregon, patchy smoke gives way to mostly sunny skies and 95 in Prineville, 91 in Bend, and a high of 89 in Sun River. Over in Boise, hot with increasing clouds and a high in the upper 90s. Along the coast, Coos Bay sees gradual clearing with a high near 69 and partly sunny and 58 in Port Orford. Decreasing clouds give way to sunshine and 54 in Brookings, while in Crescent City, mostly cloudy near 60. In Southern Oregon, Grass Pass becomes sunny with a high near 95, while Medford stays sunny and hot in the upper 90s. We'll see sunny in Ashland near 93 and upper 80s in Klamath Falls. In Northern California, 94 in Wairika with skies becoming sunny. Redding and Chico stay mostly sunny in the mid-90s, while Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds and a much cooler high near 60. Mostly sunny in the Bay Area with Santa Rosa and Napa seeing early fog before warming to 81. San Francisco sees decreasing clouds near 69, and San Jose stays partly sunny with a daytime high near 83. For Central California, Sacramento sees decreasing clouds with a high near 94, while Stockton Modesto becomes sunny near 95. Fresno Visalia reach 103 under sunny and hot conditions, with Bakersfield close behind at 102. And that's a look at your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, a little banjo music here. There it is. The Banjo Man. This is, well, not
Where's
quite.
the banjo?
Well,
There was no banjo.
Well,
How can I go into that segment with no banjo?
Well, who's the comedian that plays it?
Oh, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
He's got an arrow through his head.
Yeah.
yeah, Steve Martin. Okay, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? Or do you have any?
Santa Claus.
Santa? You know what? That is pretty safe, isn't it? Well, you know, there are still
Don't you believe in him?
Santa Claus?
Yeah.
I believed in him, and then I became him.
Yeah, you're missing something. Well, you're missing two things.
What?
A leg that works and a belly.
Yeah, I don't go down those chimneys very much anymore. I can't even get up
Hopefully
there.
by January you get that worked out. Okay.
Well, speaking of conspiracies, there are still people who believe that the U.S. moon landings were a hoax. But on this day in history, there really was a moon hoax. Check this out. If you think conspiracy theories are a modern invention, think again. On this day in 1835, the New York Sun began publishing what became known as the Great Moon Hoax. The newspaper claimed famed astronomer John Herschel had used a powerful new telescope to discover forests, rivers, unicorns, bipedal beavers, and even four-legged tall winged human-like creatures living on the moon. And people actually believed it. The 6-part series became a sensation, sending the newspaper's circulation soaring. The problem? None of it was true. The newspaper later claimed it was actually satire written by newspaper reporter Richard Adams Locke. But some say it was just a clever hoax to sell more newspapers. Herschel, who was really in South Africa conducting astronomical research, eventually got so tired of answering questions about the supposed lunar discoveries that he complained he was being constantly pestered about the ridiculous hoax. So nearly 200 years before social media, somebody was already putting completely made-up stuff on the internet. Okay, technically, it was a newspaper. Were they just trying to sell more copies?
Well,
would newspapers actually do that?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
You know, that was the town yeller.
Yeah.
And so, but the interesting thing that whole story gave launch to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars went up there and found all those people flying around.
Well, that's right. Okay, wait a minute. Did we really land on the moon?
Oh, no. This is a music set down in Hollywood in somebody's garage.
You know what? You Google it, and you can't believe the videos of people who earnestly will really sit and talk about not only the fact that it was faked, but how it was faked. It was like, are you kidding, dude?
Well, these are the flat earthers, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of the flat earthers, you know the trouble with all this thing with COVID and Fauci now, and we know that he lied, and we get into the diaries. Now we're going to find out what was in his phone and all that stuff, is that it gives the flat earthers and some of the other conspiracy people kind of mileage on their other conspiracy theories. They're
Oh.
saying, see, they lied to us about that, so they're lying to us about everything else.
Well, whatever sells newspapers.
That's it.
There
You got
go.
it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What was that? Oh,
I don't
okay. Melania Trump.
Oh, sorry.
You know, she's kind of been quiet, but behind the scenes, she's been dealing with the whole issue of foster parenting.
Okay.
And she's also had a very impactful outreach of bringing children out of Russia and Ukraine and kind of getting them back to their families.
Okay.
She's kind of been working behind the scenes. But she gave a speech about fostering the future of our children.
Our mission is simple yet transformational. Provide every young person from the foster care community the chance to earn a college education, launch a meaningful career, and achieve lasting financial independence. Today, Indiana University and Purdue University join Fostering the Future's growing coast-to-coast alliance of leading academic institutions. Congratulations and thank you. Together, they expand a national network of 26 universities that prepare our foster youth to shape America's growth. I'm very proud to share that this last spring, Fostering the Future scholarships supported the education of our first doctor. He will change the lives of so many people. Tomorrow, thanks to visionary partners such as IndyCar and Fox, Fostering the Future graduates will build new companies, launch new industries, and redefine what is possible for all Americans. Fostering the Future is more than an educational initiative. It is generational investment in America's talent pipeline. Every student who graduates strengthens our workforce, accelerates innovation, expands economic opportunity, and reduces long-term dependence on government assistance. The return of this investment is measured not only in lives changed for the better, but in stronger communities, a more competitive nation, and a future powered by American ingenuity. Education is the one asset that can never be taken away. It is the foundation upon which confidence is built, opportunities created, and the future is invented.
Well, there you go. Yeah. She's very active, very active. All right, good morning to you. We'll take a quick break and look for... Now, you remember Farrell's had the ultimate banana split. It was called the Trough.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you showed me a picture of that.
And it was like 20 banana splits in one great big bucket.
It's stunning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it came with 42 spoons.
I hope so.
We'll be right back.
He's got the whole world in his hands, and he knows the plans for us. Above and beyond we could ask or imagine, his grace is more than enough. It's in his hands, it's in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, Steve.
The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Watching financial issues equips you to navigate it with financial wisdom and advice rooted in biblical truth.
Just be faithful in what God has called you to do. And He's called all of us to be good stewards, Mark.
Financial expert Mark Manila empowers believers to be faithful stewards while navigating the markets, politics, and economy with confidence.
When we see pricing drop, that's a good thing, I believe, across the board.
Providing you with responsible investment insight, market economic analysis, and stewardship guidance, helping believers align their finances with their faith.
Test all things. Embrace those that are good and abstain from those that are evil.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just beginning, gain wisdom, clarity, and confidence to honor God with every financial decision. Don't miss Financial Issues, weekdays at 5 on the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. 11 minutes before the top of the hour. Data centers have always been kind of an interesting situation out there. A lot of people don't want them in their backyard, and yet they are the future of really everything that we do. I mean, they're going to be somewhere, and the question is where? And what do they bring to a community? Representative Cliff Benson was in the studio with me a couple of days ago, and we talked about this, and he had a pretty interesting twist on the whole thing called data center. They tried to put one in his district there at Lapine, and the citizens rose up and said, not in our backyard, so to speak. They require a lot of power and a lot of electricity, and they employ a lot of people being built, but after they're built, they really don't employ a lot of people. But what do they mean to life? Yeah. It's a huge equation. Anyway, here's what Congressman Benz had to say about it.
Well, I think the folks running the data centers have done a really, really poor job from the public relations standpoint. I think they've also done a really poor job of sharing with people what's going on inside data centers. And what I've found equally disturbing and amusing is that without data centers, your cell phone would become a square pocket watch. That's what it would be good for. You could try to take pictures, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to send them anywhere. It would be a calculator still, but it wouldn't get you any of the outside information that everyone's come to rely upon. The data centers have become, I tried to get a percentage of how much of our total economy is dependent upon data centers. Well, the answer is almost all of it. And particularly when it comes to water systems, power systems, every type of educational system, it's all in one way or another being funneled in through these data centers.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So when it comes to their impact, it is enormous. It's enormous in right now, the big impact it's having. Of course, people talk about electricity, but what they should be talking about is the cost of money. Because right now, data centers, the CapEx program is I think they're talking $10 trillion that the data centers are trying to borrow to build out. $10 trillion. Well, we've already borrowed, somebody's borrowed $40 trillion. That would be the government. We've borrowed $40 trillion. And so the source of funding for this probably one of the most important things we're going to see in our lifetime, artificial intelligence, is driving up the cost of money. And you can look right now as you see the so-called crash in the bond market.
I hear you.
Now, we're not going to stop this. It's going to happen.
Right.
I'm very happy to be on one of the committees that has a great deal to say about artificial intelligence. That's one of the reasons I fought so hard to get on energy and commerce. And so we have been having hearing after hearing after hearing, trying to figure out where government fits, because this is one of the most important things in our history. Oh. And I don't blame people. I do not blame people in Lapine for flailing out at it. My sister illustrated this quite well, my older sister. She said, I'm scared of AI. I don't know what it's going to do. Well, I think that's a common fear, and I think it's founded in the fact that we're not sure where this is taking us. But we can't ignore it. I tell you, that the other countries are not.
We're using it here.
Yes, and the fact of the matter is, it works. And that's why you see these companies investing $10 trillion in it.
Well, yeah, I think he makes a good point.
Oh boy.
Bad PR.
Bad PR, yeah.
On something that is going to be absolutely essential for life.
Now, just keep in mind who is the biggest opposing group to these data centers being built in America. DSA, Democrat Socialists of America. This is one of their cornerstones. And where do they get a lot of their funding to help fight this is a guy named Neville Roy Singham. He is the billionaire, a U.S. citizen who sold his company in like 2017 or 2018, is worth billions, and moved to Shanghai, China, and is funding the DSA and much of the radical movement on the left. He's also married to Jody Evans, who is the founding member of Code Pink, the radical feminist group, who, you know, they're the ones cheering abortion up until the day of birth and such. So I think that when you consider who's the biggest opposing group to this, it should give us a little bit of insight about what's going on here.
Yeah, but I think the congressman makes an amazing point. We need to examine how important these are. Let me just say, it's also clean industry. Now, it does require a lot of power and water, and you can create the infrastructure for that. I realized in the Lapine situation, it was bigger than the town, okay? What's wrong with Southern Oregon?
Yeah, great point. Yeah, what?
You know, so I don't know. I think the other point is they need to go back and re-market this thing.
Yes.
Their marketing has been a little off.
Yes.
Yep. So
yeah.
see what happens.
In a big way. Yeah,
okay. So. Jonathan Cahn will be with us. Quite a guy. He's been around. He's written quite a few books. Did anybody read The Harbinger? I remember when The Harbinger came out, and everybody called me. You got to read this book. You got to read this book. You got to read this book. I'll talk to him a little bit about that. But his latest book is The Altar of Pergamon, and talks about the part in the book of Revelation, the throne of Satan.
Oh, boy. Oh, you get it.
Hold on. Here we go. We'll go for a ride. And then, to balance all this out, we'll bring Bill Gallagher in. We'll all hop on the couch and get our brains straightened out.
Hot dog. I can't wait.
You know, I'm thinking about getting rid of this set for when Bill's on here. We'll just have a couch.
Okay.
And I'll lay on it like that, you know, and he can have a chair next to my head with his pad. And sort of
You'll need a rescue. Speaking of rescue, we got another great one. Take a look at this.
All right.
For 3 days, a family in the Philippines feared their beloved pet dog was gone forever. Lexa, a 2-year-old golden retriever, disappeared when a landslide crashed through her family's home after days of heavy rain. The family was evacuated, and there was no sign of Lexa. Then, 3 days later, they heard something they never expected: a faint bark coming from beneath tons of mud and debris. Rescuers immediately went to work using jackhammers and hand tools to carefully dig through the wreckage. Finally, they opened a small hole, and Lexa crawled out alive. After spending 3 days buried beneath the rubble, she was finally back in her family's arms. Sometimes, hope sounds like a little bark in the darkness.
Isn't that beautiful?
Good, Carl.
All right, take with you a great scripture today, Acts chapter 1, verse 8. But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in all of Judea, Samaria, and to the end of the earth. That's your home, that's your state, that's your country, and foreign country. Here's a picture of Southern Oregon.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Tuesday,
Got looking, Parker Messick with a strikeout, 2 down.
the all-star rookie for the Cleveland Guardians.
I'm just super grateful to be a part of everything that the Lord's blessed me with.
Ace pitcher Parker Messick.
It's like me saying, okay, God, I'm here. This is all for you. Let's do it.
And run the race, keep the faith, and rock all night. Get a sneak peek at the brand new movie Beyond Belief, Tuesday.
In a world desperately seeking truth, Cliff Connectley and his son Stuart travel across the U.S. to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
What is the evidence that Muhammad spoke the truth? What is the evidence that Jesus Christ spoke the truth?
Their mission is to ignite a passion for truth, guide individuals to embrace faith, and help people find purpose, engaging skeptics.
It kind of sounds like then that God punished us. The vast majority of chaos in nature is a direct result of God stepping back.
They're driven by a deep commitment for spreading the message of Christ to a world who needs it.
But you see, what Satan has done is he's put doubt in our mind.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts, sharing the love of Jesus with an unwavering dedication.
Because God loves you, and God has given you gifts.
Watch Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on theDove TV. Jerry's Historical Archives. U.S. History. Great moments in time. Record breakers. Our music through the years. Relive the past and learn something new. Open up Jerry's Historical Archives. Weekdays only on Mornings on the Dove. You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Seen on KURK3 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I was just trying to think during the break, when was the last time we had Rabbi Jonathan Cahn on? And it's been a long time. And what a popular gentleman. He's a New York Times bestselling author, biblical teacher, leader of Beth Israel there at the Jerusalem Center in Wayne, New Jersey. He rose to international prominence with his book and the bestselling book called The Harbinger, which was right after 9/11. How many of you read that book? Wow, what a powerful book. He has since authored numerous best-selling, exploring biblical mysteries, prophecy, and their connections with historical and contemporary events. Rabbi Cahn has also spoken at the United Nations, on Capitol Hill, and to audiences literally around the world. His latest book is a fascinating one called The Altar of Pergamum, which is the mystery of the dark angel and the future of the world. And there's a picture of that book right there on the screen. All right. Rabbi Cahn, good to see you again. I'm trying to think how long it's been. I think it's been 920 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, great to be back with you, Perry. You know, and I love the background. It looks like it must be beautiful out there on the West Coast.
It's Oregon. Come on out. This is where the Lord bought his retirement home.
Yeah. I'm in New Jersey on the other side.
How are you, friend? Good to see you. What's going on?
Good, great.
Well, so much to talk about. First of all, I want to come back to The Harbinger. Very popular book. What was in your thinking? How'd that come about?
It came about actually when I was standing at Ground Zero, and I saw a tree that had been struck down, and there's something said, "You have to search this out. There is a mystery here." And I started, and the mystery kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and one verse and the next verse. And then when I was led that it had to go forth as a book, and when I started writing, I never wrote a book before in my life. I started writing it. It basically wrote itself. It was the easiest thing I ever did. It just wrote itself. And I knew it would go forth in some way, and it did.
For those who haven't read it, give us a synopsis of it.
Yeah, in the last days of ancient Israel, as Israel had turned away from God, there were signs given in Israel warning of judgment. And the amazing thing is those same signs, specific, these aren't just general, all have now appeared in America, on manifesting, some in New York, some in Washington, some in the form of signs or events, some in the form of objects. But it's amazing when you follow this. It goes from a warning given in Isaiah, and basically that the nation that, if the Lord, when he's calling a nation back, he warns it, and he shakes it, to come back. Well, we've had shakings, and 9/11 was one of them. But the thing is, we've been doing exactly what Israel has done. This is the warning of the harbinger. Instead of coming back to the Lord, they hardened themselves and went farther from the Lord. So when you look at what's happened to America, it's actually, unfortunately, following this warning.
Wow. What's your 30,000-foot view of what's happening in the Middle East right now?
Well, it's biblical. I mean, it's not, I mean, in the sense that you've got Iran, and Iran is what the Bible clearly says that Iran, Persia, is going to be there in the last days, and it says that it's going to be an enemy of Israel, and it's actually going to attack Israel. Well, Israel and Iran have never been at war directly with each other until these last few years, and now. And so, so this is all biblical. I mean, the fact that also the nations have been raging and hating Israel is also part of end-time prophecy. Israel back, the nations will come against it. So really, and then you've got Russia on the other side, and China. So it's really, all things are in alignment with what the Bible says will be in the last days. The fact you've got an Israel in the world, the fact you've got an Iran in the world, the fact they're at war, the fact that there's conflict, all focused on the Middle East again, that's all in line with what the Bible says.
All right, let's go to your latest book, The Altar of Pergamon. A lot of people maybe have never heard of that. You pick it up for us. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Perry, this is probably, I've written many books now, that it's probably the biggest mystery I've ever written. It's a colossal mystery from the Bible that one that lies behind everything from the rise of Hitler to the rise of Marxism and communism, socialism, to the world wars, to the Cold War, to the even linked to the internet, even a coming world order and end-time prophecy. This is, it's so big that it has altered history more than once, the history of the world, and has touched the life of every single person who is watching this right now. And so, it begins with, in the book of Isaiah, he quotes the devil, Satan, Lucifer, saying, "I will exalt my throne. I'll be like God." And then in book of Revelation, it says that Pergamon is the place where the throne of Satan is. And that's major. And so what happened is there is in Pergamon, I just came back from it, Terry, there's a high place, and on the high place was the great altar of Pergamon. And this is like an embodiment of Pergamon, or the throne of Satan. Well, this altar, this object, has been buried in the dust for a good part of 2,000 years. But so we're talking about if this is linked to the throne of Satan, and what would happen if it was uncovered? And what happens is it actually was. A man comes from across the world, comes to Pergamon, and it begins to uncover this altar, this throne of Satan. And what happens, and then things start happening in the world, dramatic things which have literally altered the entire world. That's the setting. That's how the mystery begins.
You also draw a contrast between the Ark of the Covenant and the throne of Satan. Share that with us.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing because this mystery, and again, it sounds like Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant, but it's real. It's real. Yeah, the throne of Satan is an altar, or the altar perfect. It's an altar. The Ark of the Covenant was also an altar. And the thing is, what happens is that the guy comes upon it. The guy's name is Carl Humann. He doesn't know what it is. He sends two pieces of it back to his homeland. His homeland then is going to become joined to the altar, or the throne of Satan. What land is that? The land is Germany. And Germany is going to be linked to this mystery. In fact, they're going to dig up the altar. They're going to unearth the altar, again, like a movie. And they're going to put it in crates, and they put it on ships, and it goes to Berlin. And as it does, that's when Germany comes into the world as a nation, it's at the same year that the altar comes back into the world. And then anti-Semitism, it's actually the word, and the movement is actually a modern ideology. It is born in Germany as the altar arrives there. And then, Perry, they begin trying to piece the altar back together. So in Berlin in the 1880s, they start saying, okay, let's rebuild it. It's the throne of Satan. So they rebuild it. In 1889, it appears in the world again. At that same moment, something else appears in the world. A baby's born. They give him the name Adolf Hitler. Hitler comes into the world literally with the throne of Satan.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, and this is behind, I mean, you know, there's so much, this behind World War I, behind World War II. And what happens is, as the altar is being lifted up in Germany, they build a house, a big, you know, thing to display it. They open it up in 1930 to show it to the world. Hitler rises at the same time. And when Hitler becomes the leader of Germany, he commissions his architect, a guy named Albert Speer, to build him a massive podium platform where he can rail to the masses. When you see the pictures of Hitler railing, that's in Nuremberg. So he builds this massive platform for Hitler in Nuremberg. And Albert Speer, he admits he built that podium for Hitler. It was a recreation of the altar of Pergamum. So now, literally, Hitler is standing on this replica of the throne of Satan when he's speaking, and he's invoking destruction. I mean, you can't make this up. I mean, again, it sounds like a movie. It's real.
Is there a connection from there to Karl Marx?
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. And this goes right. I mean, we're dealing with socialism now. I mean, with the revival of that in America. Right. And they think it's a great idea. Young people, it's not a great idea. It's actually linked to this mystery. Karl Marx, you know, first of all, where's Karl Marx from? He's from Germany. Same land. You know, people think communism comes from, you know, Russia. It comes from Germany. Same land as the altar, and it's linked to this mystery. Karl Marx was raised knowing about Jesus, and he actually, when he's 17, he writes a devotion to Jesus. But when he's 18, they send him to Berlin. Berlin is the place where the altar or the throne of Satan is going to be. Well, and when he goes to Berlin, a transformation comes over him, and he begins writing strange verses as if the Satan had taken over him, and he's speaking as a mouthpiece. He says, for instance, this is Karl Marx, I will exalt my throne, I will lift my throne up to the heavenlies. I mean, it's basically what Lucifer says in Isaiah. He says, I will bring the world to destruction, and I'll walk among the ruins of the world as a god. And I have a sword that is from the Prince of Darkness. This is Karl Marx. And he says, literally, everything that exists deserves to be destroyed. So this is a satanic thing at the beginning of Marxism. And he writes the manifesto. Almost nobody reads it. And he's going to be forgotten. I mean, we would never have heard of Karl Marx. It's decades later, he's a forgotten man. But something happens, that events come about that resurrect Marxism and bring it to the world. And it's all linked to the altar. When the altar comes to Germany at the very same year, same moment, the first pieces come, in Germany, there's a resurrection of Marxism. And Marxism now is empowered. The Communist Manifesto is going forth to the world, goes forth to Russia. And in Russia, by the way, you have a person who was, well, let me put it this way. As soon as they put the shovels into the ground to start excavating the throne of Satan at Pergamum, a child is born at that moment. And the child who's born is given the name Joseph Stalin, who's the other great monster of the 20th century. Both of them, Hitler and Stalin, are born with the altar. And the whole mystery of, I mean, even Lenin, you know, the key moment comes when Lenin comes upon Marx's writing. Well, when does that happen? It happens at the very moment they piece the altar together. That year, 1889, when Hitler comes into the world, the altar appears again, and this all happens. It's going to change the world. And just to bring this full circle, when Hitler is in the bunker in 1945 and he commits suicide in Berlin, the thing is, there at the same moment, there's another bunker in Berlin, and in that bunker, the Nazis are hiding the throne of Satan, the altar Pergamon's in that bunker. And so what's going to happen is now the altar is going to pass from Nazi Germany into the hands of another power, and it's going to change the history of the world. I don't know if we save that for the next segment, but it's amazing.
Yeah. My brain's on tilt. Let me take a break. Where can they get the book?
The altar Pergamon's literally right now. It's coming out right now. It's literally everywhere. If you go online right now on Amazon or anywhere you get books, you're going to see it. It's that cover that you saw, and it's also written in the form of a story and a thriller. It's real. So, but I'm doing it to reach people also who don't know the Lord. So, if you have anybody in your life who doesn't know the Lord, get it for them.
All right, let me take a quick break. We got more to talk to him about. Okay. Check it out online, The Altar of Pergamon. There's a picture of the book. We'll be right back.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Sing along.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. Wow. Been a long time, and what an honor to have back with us. Rabbi Jonathan Cahn's back with us. His latest book is now available, called The Altar of Pergamon, The Mystery of the Dark Angel and the Future of the World. There's a picture of the cover of the book there on the screen. As you know, he's also the author of The Harbinger, and so many of people read that book. Amazing book. Rabbi, I'm trying to think in my mind, what's going through your mind as you started to connect the dots?
Well, it happens like with every book. It's I'm the first one to get blown away. Number one, I'm saying, oh Lord, so on one hand, it's like I'm not surprised because the Lord is amazing. God is amazing. His mysteries, His word's amazing, and there's no end to what He has. At the same time, I'm still blown away by it. So I'm blown away by the Lord again. Wow, So usually with a book like with The Altar of Pergamon, I knew for years I was going to write this book. I didn't know when. But I knew there was a very big, colossal mystery, and I knew it affected everything. But I was led, just like in the last year, that this was going to be the book. And usually I have thousands of pages of notes, of connections, and all that before I even start writing. So I'm just blown away, and to see that. I mean, it's like every major thing, every evil, up to this day. I mean, this also has connection with the internet. There's actually an American leader, not Trump, who is actually linked to this as well. It goes up to where we are now. So I'm always amazed, and there's no end to God's mysteries. There's just no end to it. So I'm the first one to be blown away. How do you parallel this in prophecy? Well, a few things. I mean, one is, it says. Oh, by the way, let me just because I kind of left everybody hanging. The next power that gets the people who open up that bunker and find the throne of Satan at the end of World War II, right? It's the soldiers of the Red Army. The altar of Pergamon passes from Nazi Germany, and the throne of Satan goes to the Soviet Union and communism. So they literally are possessing the throne of Satan from then on. It changed again, but prophecy. There's so much of it because, first of all, it's in Revelation, number one. Number two, there is actually a link between the altar of the throne of Satan, or the altar of Pergamon, and the Bible speaks of the abomination, desolation on the Temple Mount. There's actually a link together with it. Plus, the other thing is that why is it coming back into the world now? A few things. One, I mean, it starts in 1871, but the thing is that one is that there's been a turning. Europe was turning away from God, and when you do that, you're opening the door. And the return of the altar of or Pergamon or the throne of Satan. That means that there's going to be evil unleashed in new ways. You got Nazi Germany, you have communism, you ultimately have the Antichrist coming. The Bible speaks of it. One of the mysteries of the altar, where it is now, is that it actually speaks of the coming of a one world entity, which is in biblical prophecy. So there's a lot of links here. In fact, and this is, I'm not saying it as doctrine, but if the Antichrist is going to be linked in some way to the certain powers, he will actually possess the throne of Satan. So Hitler had it, Stalin had it, and I have no doubt the Antichrist will have it as well.
Okay, so a little bit of a sidebar. We have this unbelievable move of socialism in America. How does that tie in?
One of the things that this reveals is that socialism, particularly in the form of Marxism or communism, is linked from the very beginning with not only I told you these satanic writings of Marx, but also with the altar of Pergamon, with this literally throne of Satan. The rise of it comes from Germany, comes from at the moment the altar arrives there. It's linked, and then literally, it's not an accident that the communist world then takes the throne of Satan from Nazi Germany and possesses them. And that's kind of telling you something is kind of evil there. And the other thing is, Barry, the word devil, people use it, but they don't know what it really means. Devil comes from diabolos. It means the divider. And look what happens when the Soviet Union becomes a superpower, the world gets divided. Because if you can divide, you can destroy. And so even the division of the world, which almost brought the world to destruction more than once. I mean, the biggest thing was the Cuban Missile Crisis, and that let me just give you a little mystery there. This is with what was behind it. We know that there were missiles in Cuba, and America discovered it. Soviet Union put it there. America quarantines the island. Kennedy puts American ships in the water. Russian ships are coming with more missiles. The world's preparing for the end. Bomb shelters. Dog tags. But the mystery is, it wasn't about Cuba. There were other missiles that, what happened was Khrushchev was by the Black Sea, and they tell him that America has missiles aimed at Russia. Well, he says, okay, we're going to put missiles in Cuba, right by America. Well, so the missiles that almost destroyed the world weren't the Cuban ones. They were by the Black Sea or on the other side. So where were they? The missiles that almost brought the world to an end were all standing in the land of Pergamon. They were all in the ancient kingdom of Pergamon. And as the altar, so this whole thing is there. And for anybody getting into socialism, listen, it's been tried. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So, gosh, you could probably talk for hours on your research. How do you see Iran today in this whole scenario you're laying out? How do you see? Yeah.
Yeah, Iran is Persia. I mean, so there's no question. It's not, not a question about what's going on here. It is Persia. It's the same exact nation. And the Bible says in Ezekiel 38, it identifies the nations that will be against Israel in the latter days, it says. And one of them it calls in Hebrew Paras. Paras is Persia. Persia is Iran. Iran was originally an ally of Israel, but it turned against it. And that's prophecy. The other thing about it is that, in Daniel, it speaks about an entity called the prince or the ruler of the kingdom of Persia. So it's actually saying there's an entity there, and that entity in Daniel is linked to warring against the purposes of Israel that God has for it. So it's kind of not an accident that this nation has turned the way it is. And so, as we said at the beginning, this is all linked to biblical prophecy. I'm not saying this is Ezekiel 38 yet, but it's all heading there.
How do you view Trump not only prophetically, but in his actions in handling Iran?
Well, Trump, I do believe, Trump is a fascinating man. I wrote a book called The Paradigm, and there's an ancient temple in the Bible. It's amazing because there's an ancient king of Israel called Jehu, and Trump is literally following. I mean, he was wild. You never knew what he was going to do next, say next. He comes to power and kind of to turn back this kind of apostasy of his nation. He actually comes to power by contending against the nation's former first lady. So same with Trump. And the thing is that now it's like Trump. I don't think Trump wakes up in the morning and says, "Okay, what does the Hebrew say in the Bible?" I think he just does things. But God, you will use whom He will use. And Trump, Jehu was a mix, and Trump's a mix. But the amazing thing is, there's even a mystery to what's happening in Iran, linked to the holiday in the Bible of Purim. Purim is about Persia, Iran, and about trying to bring destruction to Israel or the Jewish people. And the amazing thing is, this whole war right now began on the weekend that ushers in Purim, which speaks about Persia or Iran trying to bring destruction, but it gets overturned. So again, I don't believe Trump is studying the Hebrew scripture or the Hebrew calendar, but it all happened on that. In fact, on the day that it began, that Saturday, that was a special Sabbath in the Jewish year where it ushers in Purim, where they open up the scrolls and they read about how God says, "I will war against," basically, Amalek, which is linked to Haman, which is linked to Persia, and that's the day that the supreme leader of Iran was killed. So there is a whole biblical element here of what's happening. And by the way, the mystery and speaking of leaders, okay, I'm going to go farther if you're okay with it. And that is, there is actually an American leader who is linked to the altar of Pergamon, the throne of Satan. He traveled to the place of where the altar was, the throne was, and he gives a speech to the world under it's an image of an ancient goddess, comes back to America and begins his rise to presidency. When he's standing on the stage at the convention, this is the Democratic convention, he's standing there. They build for him a strange structure in back of him. This is beginning his rise. And the thing, what was the structure? I don't know I have no idea what they knew or didn't, but it was a reproduction, a replica of the altar of Pergamon on the stage of the Democratic convention, the throne of Satan, linked to that leader. I mean, it depends how far you want to go. I open this up in the book. I'll identify him if you want, but if you want me to hold back, I'll hold back.
Well, I got to get you back. I'm out of time. Let me say to our viewers, check out the book. It's called The Altar of Pergamon, The Mystery of the Dark Angel and the Future of the World. I have one quick question, Rabbi, before I let you go. It appears now that you mentioned earlier Satan, the great divider. There is now a division between the Jewish people and the state of Israel, which is it's being looked at. So some people say, all right, we shouldn't be anti-Semitic, but the state of Israel is bad, or the state of Israel is okay, but we're still against Jews. How do you see that?
Wow. Yeah. Well, listen, in Revelation, it has the vision of the dragon, which is clearly Satan, warring against a woman with 12 stars who gives birth to the Messiah. That's clearly Israel. So the hatred of the Jewish people makes no sense. It's ancient. It comes back in new forms every time. It's always going to be there, and it changes. It always mutates. The thing is that it's not natural. It's spiritual. The enemy hates Israel. Has been trying to destroy them for thousands of years, because if you can destroy, if they come back to the land, somebody else is coming back to the land, which is Jesus. So if you can stop them, you can stop that. So the Satan's trying to divide America from Israel, divide the church from Israel, divide the conservatives from Israel and the Jewish people. Yeah. It never makes sense. But the good news is, and by the way, in the book it's hope, because the good news is he doesn't win. He doesn't win. Israel's still around. All the other powers are gone. The church is still around. And we're going to be around because the Lord is coming. So we are on the winning side. And we just got to know we're in a battle, but if you fight this battle, you are guaranteed to win it.
Hey,
and I am praying, and thank you, Perry, for this. I am praying that people will not only get the book for themselves, but get it for people in your life who don't know the Lord, because I wrote it like a thriller that it'll draw them in, but it leads to salvation.
Thank you for that tag. All right, the book is called The Altar of Pergamon.
The Altar of Pergamon. If you go online right now, or Amazon, or anywhere you get books, or any place, you're going to have it. As long as it looks like that, you got the right book.
All right, been too long. Can we get you back, brother?
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Blessed to be with you.
Yeah, good to see you, friend. Take care.
Thank you.
At Kelly's Automotive Service, we understand that the automotive industry has a certain reputation, and we try every day to prove that we're different. We believe working from our purpose, which is to bless our staff, clients, and community, is a good start. While getting your car serviced or repaired isn't something that you look forward to, we hope that you leave us feeling heard and taken care of. Kelly's Automotive Service in Grants Pass and Medford, where we service your vehicle, but take care of you. KellysAutomotive.com.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
Orthodox Christianity has existed for 2,000 years. Yet many people know very little about its history, its worship, or the ancient Christian faith it preserves. Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser. Join me each week as we explore the beauty and depth of this historic Christian tradition and its place in the modern world.
Don't miss The Ancient Church, conversations about Orthodox Christianity, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV. Real Life with Jack Hibbs, now on the Dove TV every weekend. Direct from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice a biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome back. Only on Focus today can we go from Jonathan Cahn to Bill Gallagher in the same hour.
Sorry, you got a couple of extroverts here that...
3 hours of this, I am ready for a nap after these mornings here on the Dove. Anyway, Bill Gallagher's with us, counselor, founder of TeamWorks. You can go to teamworks-works.com. He'll come into your organization and help you with all kinds of good things. And he does the color profile, golden retrievers and beavers and dogs and horses.
Personality.
Oh, personality
differences,
profile.
yeah.
Anyway, very accurate. He'll come in and do that for you. So if you got any kind of staff issues, encouragement, discipline, correction, organization, he helps you with that. Teamworks-works.com is the website. How are you?
Thanks, buddy. I'm doing good.
Why in the world do you want to talk about eternal security?
Because it's a very important subject, and I want people to have hope like Jesus said they should have.
Okay.
Complete hope in eternal life.
What is it?
Eternal security is what Christ offered us, gave us, when he died on the cross. So for those of you that have become Christians, you receive Christ. I mean, you really receive Christ. There's people that say they receive Christ, and then there's people that know they really receive Christ.
Right.
The promise that he gives is eternal life, paradise in heaven with him and the saints for eternity. It's very, very clear that and for me, I gave my life to the Lord 50 years ago. And one of the most joyous things about that is that he loved me enough to call me to follow him, which was pretty shocking in lieu of where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, and I can talk about what different people I think struggle with it or not for different reasons. I have a level of optimism in me anyway. So personally for me, I have not ever doubted a day that I don't have eternal life. Not one day. So it's the most joyous thing about, next to finding Christ and knowing him and loving Christ, right behind that is we actually have eternal life with him.
Yeah. Okay, a couple things here, because it can be a controversial subject.
It is. I think it is.
Only because it's misunderstood and not really clearly defined.
I see.
How do you parallel eternal security with unconditional love?
Well, I think they're one and the same.
Okay.
It's because he unconditionally loves us that our salvation and our eternal life is about him. It's not about our works or what we do. There's a new song that came out. I was listening to it on my way into the Dove. And just the opening phrase is, I'm not loved because I'm worthy. I'm loved because he's good.
Okay.
So it's not about us. It's about what he did for us and our belief or acceptance of it.
Okay. Let's get into the controversial part of it a little bit.
Of course.
The falling away, the apostasy, those who believe you can lose your faith, or the free will, you can reject Christ after receiving him. These are big deals.
These are big deals, and that's what brings on the controversy.
Right.
So a couple things. I would say those are all warnings for people of faith and people who think they have faith. Those are all warnings that we need to persevere, which is what the Holy Spirit helps us to do, and never look back.
Okay.
Never look back. And I think personally, I could be wrong, but personally I think that when Christ grips someone's life with the grip of grace, he never lets go. Now we can try to wiggle out of his grip because of whatever our goal is or whatever our bitterness is or whatever you want to call it, disbelief. But there's still warning and discipline for the believers too.
Okay, let's camp there just for a moment, because it's been said that somebody comes to Christ, they start to grow as a Christian, and they make a major sinful mistake.
Yes.
And they don't seem to return to Christ. They just live in that mistake and go on.
Yes.
The quick answer is they never were saved in the first place.
Which is possible.
Okay. But maybe they were. And now
Yes.
they're just living in immense discouragement.
And shame.
And shame.
I would say that there's a few reasons why people would struggle with the security of our salvation. There's a few reasons.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think people with a very highly sensitive conscience that are really hard on themselves and have perfectionistic tendencies. I mean, anytime they quote unquote fail in life or let somebody down or cross a line of, just rebellion, whatever, they have a very, very, very difficult time getting through that and not carrying shame still. So there is that type of person out there that's actually a Christian.
So they have taken unconditional love and made it conditional.
They've made it conditional, and it might be the way...
On performance?
Performance, that's another reason.
Okay.
People that were raised under authority figures, parents, whoever, authority figures that base their love for them on how they performed. That doesn't go away right away. We can carry that into adulthood.
Yeah, right.
That is a big issue. So the performance-based relationship can really cause us to second guess our security. I think people with a sensitive conscience, I've heard of many people as a pastor who may be younger in their faith, maybe not, feel that God is still punishing them
Okay.
For their past sins. A lot of people feel that way.
Yes.
That's not biblical. Jesus has never said that. They're not going to find that in the scripture because he already took the punishment.
Why do we have a hard time believing that? Why is that the stumbling block? Why is it that we have a hard time professing that our sins forgiving, but living like they have not been forgiven?
Well, I think one of the reasons is feelings rather than fact.
Okay.
We lean on how we feel at the time, how bad we feel, how much shame we have, and that seems to be louder than the truth of the scriptures.
But isn't that really conviction of the Lord saying you don't have to go there anymore, go this way, don't go that way?
Yes, I really believe that. The Lord is constantly loving us in spite of.
Yeah.
I tell you, when I came to Christ, before I came to Christ, there was a lady, I worked in a Transamerica building in San Francisco, did valet parking. I was 23. And there was a gal that worked in the bank, and I would bring up our, deposits every morning from the day before. And she started telling me about Christ and everything, and I go, oh, whatever. There was times I really wanted to, I was hoping that I would get her. I was next in line, and she would be mine because she always talked about Christ. And I had an interest about it, and then there's times I avoided her because of what I did the weekend before.
Okay.
And she comes in one day, Perry, and she says, God talked to my heart about you today. I said, what? The Lord told me something about your future today. I go, he did? He talked about me? She goes, yeah, I was coming up in the elevator and it was clear as, what did he say? He said, you're going to come to him someday and follow him. And it changed my life right there. I looked at my life, I assessed my life. I had been told earlier when I was 19, because I was living a pretty wild life, that there was no way, I was told by a minister, no doubt, that I would never get into heaven because of where I came from. And I always believed that until this lady told me, what? He loves you. Matter of fact, he said he's going to put his hand on your life and you're going to serve him the rest of your life. That was 50 years ago. It was the most joyous thing I've ever heard. I think eternal security, if you really understand it and believe it, is next to knowing Christ is the most joyous truth there is from heaven.
So how do we go from that kind of a understanding, revelation, and belief in our heart of being eternally secure, unconditionally loved, to the argument, once saved, always saved?
Well, I would say, like we read when the Lord Jesus healed a father's young son. Well, he might have had blindness or some disease. I can't remember what the issue was, but the father, Jesus walked up to him and he said, Lord, will you heal my son? And Jesus said, you must believe. And he goes, I do believe. Will you help my unbelief? That is a great prayer for Christians to say. Lord, in this area that's clear that you want us to follow, and we read it in the scriptures that you did this, I struggle in that area. Please help my unbelief. That's a good prayer. I'm struggling in that area. I don't have when people don't have the full assurance of salvation, that doesn't create full joy. There's always a doubt of when we're going to slip again or whatever. The Lord doesn't want us to live that way. He wants us to be secure. He paid the price. Paul says in 2 Timothy 4, this was his last letter before he was beheaded, the Apostle Paul. He said, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. Now, Paul didn't win the good fight of faith. Christ did on the cross. Mm-hmm. Paul didn't finish the race. Christ broke that tape for us. And Paul didn't keep the faith on his own. The Holy Spirit causes us to persevere and continue to keep the faith. It's not our will that does that.
Good stuff. All right, let me take a quick break. Bill's website is team-works.com. There's a picture of the landing page. Check that out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. Good stuff.
Yeah, so you do believe in it.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
The Life Essentials Interactive Study Bible by Dr. Gene Getz. The first ever multimedia study Bible with QR codes enabling you to view 1,500 videos. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, or computer with Gene Getz teaching Principles to Live By from every book of Scripture. 250 hours of in-depth teaching. Gene Getz has over 60 years of Bible teaching and is a renowned theologian. The Life Essentials Bible is a seminary in a box. Read, watch, apply. Get yours today for your own spiritual growth or as a gift that will minister greatly to your family and friends. Purchase your copy of the Life Essentials Study Bible at Christian bookstores or go to their website, BiblePrinciples.org. and click on Video Search, where you can access all the principles for free. Take your faith deeper. Get your Life Essentials. Study Bible today at Christian bookstores or BiblePrinciples.org.
The world has a view, but God has the vision. That's what sets the Vision TV show apart. The Vision is an inspirational talk show that elevates voices of faith through powerful conversations, highlighting changemakers making a difference, blending heartfelt storytelling with practical insight, encouraging viewers to live life with clarity, compassion, and vision. Join Elvita King and friends for The Vision, Tuesdays right here on the Dove TV.
Bill Gallagher's with us, counselor, pastoral counselor, and also the founder of TeamWorks, which is a great organization that comes into your organization and helps you with, personnel issue, HR issues, from the challenges to the happy moments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Teamworks-works.com. We're talking about a big topic, eternal security. You know, I get a lot of stuff here at the Dove. No matter what we talk about, you'll get people obviously has an opinion, and that's great. I understand that. We all have our opinions, right? This is one of them. You know,
this is a biggie.
This is a big one, and it comes up every once in a while. Once saved, always saved. Out of that will come the whole issue of election, limited atonement, and all of that stuff. And I'm going, wow, why are we falling on these swords? Why are we preaching the gospel? Why are we falling on these non-essentials? You know,
yeah, I know. We're just those kind of people. We just
they're more interested in
truth, and
they're more interested in making this point than they are winning somebody to Jesus. But anyway, this is a big one, because when you come to Christ, do you feel that you are secure now and throughout eternity? Do you sense that? Do you sense that you've made a decision that you are eternally sealed? And yet a lot of people don't sense that. They believe in God, they come to Him, but this part is a struggle for them.
Yeah, well, there's other reasons, like we said, maybe they were raised in a performance-based atmosphere. They're leaning on their feelings rather than faith.
A lot of legalism.
They focus on their bad behavior more than eternal forgiveness. Mm-hmm. So I think some of that sets people up, but those are all mistruths in our mind and in our head. So I think the Scripture's the key. Faith is the key. It's not based on feelings. So when we read verses like Paul said in Philippians, being confident of this, I love the way he said that. He says, I am confident of this, that He who began a good work in you, that's Christ, will carry it on completion until the day of Jesus Christ. Now, there's no gray in there. Mm-mm. There's no gray.
What He started, He'll finish.
What He started in us, and He started in us. We didn't start it ourselves. Mm-hmm. He started this work, and it was like that when we were converted. He said He will complete that, despite you. Well, I think the best example in Scripture is Peter. Here's one of the chosen apostles. He's supposed to be the church father after Christ resurrected. And he denies him 3 times. 3 times. And the Lord came back to him and said, in John 21, one of my favorite chapters, he finally got caught up with Jesus on what his denial was after the Lord was raised from the dead. And he said, Peter, do you love me? He goes, I do love you. You know I love you. And he doubted. And then Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. It's like the Lord forgave what he had done. He put it aside and said, the call is the same as when I first met you. Feed my sheep, feed my lambs. So, nobody failed basically scripturally. There's a lot of failure, but that was pretty bad.
Well, he falls. He denies Christ 3 times. And what even is a bigger insult, he returns to being a fisherman. He leaves the ministry and goes back and becomes a fisherman.
Yes, I know. That's in John 21. And the Lord's going, that's what I called you from, Peter. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
But he still says, okay, let's leave that in the past. It's forgiven. I love you. I'm raised from the dead. You have eternal life. Now do what I called you to do when I first met you, and start teaching my people and feeding my sheep.
Get out of the boat, but get back over here.
Yeah. So for those of you that are hung up in shame, that's a big word for even Christians.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you, the Lord doesn't play games. He's a God of truth. He's a God of life. He's not going to mess with your head, and you need to just ask him then, Lord, help my unbelief. I want to have that joy that I'm really secure.
Okay, so what do you say to a person today listening to this conversation? They once had a vibrant relationship with Christ, and they have fallen into a very prolonged, sinful life. They're stuck there. They knew where they were, but now they're here.
Well, if they were truly born again, truly, because some people think they are and are not, Okay. Maybe they read a Bible one time.
We can't judge that.
No, you can't judge that. You can't judge that.
Yeah.
What I say to them, well, I had one guy tell me this, actually. I was trying to help him, and he said, look, I know you're a pastor. You keep your Bible verses to you. I've known the Lord, and he went on and on and on about how much scripture he knew and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, I struggle with it now. I'm not interested anymore. And I said, well, if you truly knew him, it's a matter of time. He'll be bringing you back. He will, because you've seen that too.
Yeah, right.
You've seen that too. So, and my opinion is, because we have eternal security and because the Lord gave us a heart to serve and love and follow him primarily above everything else, I have a hard time, maybe it's just me, I have a hard time even fathoming walking away from what he's given me. Is it possible? Now, backsliding's another category.
And that is?
That is people that met Christ, that come through some hard times, and then they walk away. They've backslid from what God called them to. They return. And I would say, we were talking about Calvin earlier, and I would say, like, if you really knew the Lord and you backslid, that's common. That's common for Christians. God's going to do something in your life that's going to bring you back. And it could be 40 years from that time.
Okay.
But the notion of knowing Christ personally and having salvation and born again and eternal security, the notion of that person walking away, I don't even know if it's possible.
Okay, but we're not advocating perfection here.
No. It's all grace.
Yeah, because, we're still living in a sinful world, and we're not perfect in ourselves yet. We still go to confession every day, so to speak.
Yes, and the other thing, too, Perry, is as Christians, we follow Christ, and we live in obedience most of the time to Christ because we love him, not because we have to. It's because we love him. I had a guy another guy that helped me learn about Christ came to Christ. He said, let me explain it to you this way, because my eyes were opening, and I got baptized in a few weeks. And he said, I have a little 2-year-old daughter. And she messes her pants, and she cries, and she stomps her feet, and she does all this stuff. You know what I do? I pick her up, and I just kiss her, and I start crying. Nothing's going to take her away from me as her father and my daughter. We have been adopted into Christ, and you won't find anything in the Scripture where he unadopts us.
Okay.
Won't find it.
Can you unadopt yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Give all those emails to him. I don't.
Send them to Perry first.
No. Okay. Because that's a big issue.
Yeah.
So you willfully accept. Can you willfully reject?
I think the best of Christians can go through periods of rebellion, for sure. That's where the backsliding comes in.
Okay.
Jesus said about a couple of his close followers, like Demas, he forsaken me, walked away from the faith, forsaken me. But does that mean it was eternal?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know that one.
But he said that. Demas, for loving this world, because forsaken me.
The very quick answer to that is, well, they never were saved in the first place. And I think that's outside of reality. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because life's hard.
Life's hard.
Something can happen to you, spin you out.
Yeah. And God, at the blink of an eye, can bring someone back. He knows where our bottom is. You know, when we say, I got a loved one, and I don't know, he's never going to hit bottom. The only one that knows our
low point
in life is the Lord Jesus.
All right, what time we have? So what do you want people to know about eternal security that's dealing with a lot of guilt and shame? They've come to the Lord, they believe, but they're carrying this load. What can you say to them to set the load down?
Well, one thing I can say.
Because I don't want to deal away with the reality of those feelings.
No. Okay, let me just end on this.
All right.
Shame, guilt, same thing. So there's two kinds of guilt. There's a true guilt and a false guilt. A true guilt is a gift from God. We call it conviction. When we sin, and upon acknowledging it or being aware of it or going, Lord, forgive me for the way I talk to my wife, forgive me for, stopping to go into church, which you command us to do, forgive me for this, the guilt is lifted.
Okay.
David said, God lifted my sin. After he repented with his stuff from Bathsheba. Okay, so true guilt, the origin of true guilt is we violated Scripture. The answer to true guilt is
conviction from God.
Conviction from God,
the Holy Spirit.
And the Holy Spirit.
Isn't that an indication the Holy Spirit's still working in you?
To the last breath, he's working in our life. Okay. False guilt. This is where most people get caught.
Okay, hurry.
Is from ourselves or from the manipulation of other powerful people. And we're our own worst enemy.
Because we accept it.
Yeah. But it's not true. It's not from the Lord. It's not because we violated Scripture. It's our own sensitive mind or our own manipulated past. That's false guilt. And when you recognize what that is, you ask the Lord to take it, and he will. Because that's not the guilt he wants you to have.
Okay. Because there is the old saying, the true guilt, which is conviction, leads you to Christ. False guilt leads you away from Christ.
Exactly. Well said. Now and then, about once a year, you come up with a gem there, Perry. I got to wait another whole year.
You just didn't take my class. That's why I didn't pass you.
That's all.
All right, check it out. Teamworks-works.com. That's Bill's website. And again, whatever organization you have, he deals with attorneys, he deals with medical organizations, he deals with churches, he deals with businesses. He'll come into your business, your organization, and help you with all of your HR issues. Does a great job.
One passage that they can read. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3 through 9. If you doubt security in Christ, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3 through 9.
Okay, take that with you today. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 9.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, bud.
I'll give you an A today.
Oh, my gosh.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser, producer and host of The Ancient Church. Join me Sunday evenings as we explore Orthodox Christianity, its history, theology, worship, and living traditions.
The Ancient Church, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV. Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America.
That liberty is God-given, not government-granted.
You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on the Dove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs.
You and I cannot afford to be casual about what God has actually said in His Word regarding the future.
Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching.
The Bible warns us to avoid private interpretations.
Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice a biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV. Don't miss Real Life with Pastor Jack Hibbs, Sunday at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is